The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
Shalom, shalom. Come on in.
The east is where we're from.
Hit the like button.
The 12 tribes of Israel.
In 721 BC,
721 BC.
the Assyrian king, he took us down. Come on. With the great escape.
Great escape we went through the Euphrates.
Blessings, blessings.
The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the islands of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, the highest gathering Israel.
The Arabs and Africans told us, come on, come on.
Together our wives and children that sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled and filled. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here.
A higher gather us. Whoa.
Moving from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. A highest gathering Israel. The Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. A highest gathering Israel.
Come on in. You don't want to miss this broadcast. You don't want to miss this broadcast, brothers and sisters. We've been talking about this for a long time. Asher, come on. Asher in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be, we be. The Negroes, the West Indians, the Haitians. Oh, yeah. Naphtali from the isles of Hawaii. Come on. We're back. Simeon. Yes, the Most High is gathering Israel. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar of the Gathering of Christ Church. Yes, yes, brothers and sisters. Yes, we've been waiting for this broadcast for a long time. It quantifies, it brings together everything that's going on in the earth. Yes, yes, yes. Weather warfare, wars, rumors of wars, missile shot by Iran. Everything that we were talking about, even before YouTube, is coming to pass. What's going to happen next? And what should we do in the earth? Jews and Gentiles alike, hey, we're opening the conversation. Elder Lawyer, are you there, young man?
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom, sir. Let me put you here. All right. It seems like there was some noise. I don't know what that was when you was on mute. But it's all good.
Okay.
It went away when you unmuted, so obviously something is going on there. Let's see.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Let me straighten you out here. Just getting this video nice and right here. So how you doing, young man?
I'm doing well, sir. I can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. It's kind of surreal seeing everything unfold. As the Most High said, it's not a surprise, but it confirms. It confirms the word of God. It confirms the prophecies. And I told people for years, Elder Lawyer, why it's so important to understand who are the actual nations in the earth according to the Bible, not just Israel. Why? Because if you don't know who the people are, you'll be confused concerning prophecy, why these certain nations are in war one against another. If you can't identify them according to the Bible, most people would actually be confused, right? And one thing that shot out at me a long time ago that made me say, you know what, that really made me dive into, through the Spirit of the Most High, identifying nations. Now, one of the reasons that it really got me into really being inquisitive concerning who the people of the earth are is I seen the evangelists, the right-wing Christians, kept talking about this threat of Russia, the bear, Russia, the great, whatever the case is, right, as America's common enemy. And even as Israelites, when I first grew up in the truth in my early 20s, it was this thing about Russia launching on America, the Great Cold War, claiming that that's Bible prophecy. Now, what made me dive into that is because I couldn't help but notice how many Russians actually lived in America, right? So that in of itself made me curious. There's Russians running everything here in America. Is Russia really the enemy? Right? And then I started to examine the fact that there was many Russian Jews who came here during Reconstruction, right? Who have embedded themselves within the culture. I mean, even DJ Vlad would be considered a Russian Jew. But that in of itself wasn't the thing that made me really say, that was one of the things. I'm like, there's Russians everywhere. So it can't be exactly geopolitically what they're saying. And it cannot be prophetic more so when Russians are Edomites too. So nowhere in the Bible did it state that Edomites would be in the interest against one another. So I said, let me look at this again. And I started doing some research to realize the Russians who living in Russia today aren't the original Russians. The original Russians were Japheth. They were Asian. And I started doing some research, some history. I was like, let me dive into some history now. I was a history buff in school. I love history. So I started going into biblical history and said, well, okay, let's see when white people started really making moves, moving people who are Edomites, moving people, the indigenous people, off of their homeland. And then we teach it in the academy. It comes down to when Alexander the Greek, under his 4 generals, there were many wars that led to white people being Edomites under the Greeks and Romans, pushing Russians out of that territory. Even all of Europe, which is called Asia Minor. The original Asia Minor, a lot of people don't know this, folks. Put on your thinking caps for a moment. Europe was called Asia Minor. Common sense will tell you that who were there before the wars of Alexander and the Romans against the Asians? You got it. Asian people. So that really got me going when it came to identifying who Japheth was, who went on the other side of the Mediterranean. I'm like, well, okay, we're getting somewhere here. I know that the Chinese people in particular, not the ones who mix with the Greeks, like the real light-skinned ones, but the darker Chinese were the original Japhetic people before Genghis Khan and all that, right? I say, okay, I got them nailed down. We know that Chinese people are Japheth. Gog and Magog. Magog is Japheth. So Magog ruled the territory of Russia. So white people cannot be the original Magog. So what are evangelist preachers talking about the great Magog of Russia fighting against America for when that has nothing to do with Bible prophecy? Well, come to find out that the right wing evangelicals, that whole doctrine came out of Zionism. That whole doctrine was to frame a geopolitical conflict that they would create so that Edomites could one day gain Palestine. So they would make their own prophecies and teach those prophecies within the United States so that they can get Christian backing towards a Zionist agenda. Stay with me for a moment. Right? So let's move Russia off the table when it comes to them being against the Vatican's or the Romans' interest. Russians are Romans. Now, it gets quite interesting now when you realize that even Netanyahu, before he changed his name, him and his family, through bloodline, were Polish and are Polish. Their original name wasn't a Jewish name. It was a Polish name. But I digress. So all in all, people are starting to figure out that there's Edomites over in Israel who are pushing against other people like they pushed against Asians in the past and other races of people, only to reclaim those people's names after taking them out. Right? So now, hold on, let me turn this down just a little. So here we are. All this stuff about Russia. Russia's playing a hand politically against America now, not based on the evangelical narrative, but based on the narrative of the 10 horns coming together to destroy, to minimize the power of America so that all power goes back to the Vatican and the 10 horns at the end of it. That's really the all to end all when it comes to the political conflict between America and Russia. Russia and the other 10 horns have now began to fight against the harlot they created, only so that they can get power 1 hour with the beast, as written in Revelation 17. Right? So where does that leave us? Right? But it's so important. Don't let Christians ever tell you. A matter of fact, it's insulting and lazy to give you a response such as, and dismissive, as it doesn't matter. When have you ever heard Christ or the prophets ever give those who needed answers that response? It's dismissive and insulting. If you claim to hold the word of God, you better have some answers. You can't be coming with some, well, it doesn't matter. I just believe in the blood of Christ. Sit down and let the right person stand in that place who understands that everything matters according to God. Everything matters according to God. So instead of misdirecting the conversation to get out of it by claiming, well, that's not really important. Well, if you don't know what's important, guess what? You are out of position. You shouldn't be in position to give answers according to prophecy if your response is to everything that's important, it doesn't matter. Well, who's God's people? Well, that doesn't matter. What? Oh, it doesn't matter unless you claim to be Jewish. So, brothers and sisters, when you hear somebody respond with, it doesn't matter, that tells you in of itself they're not qualified to stand in the gap and preach the gospel. Okay, they're in the way. If you cannot give answers in such a prophetic time as this, what is your usefulness? Now, the best thing to do, and guess what? Because everyone doesn't know everything. When you are challenged with a question you don't know, be honest and say, you know what? Instead of dismissing people and saying, I don't know. You can just retort with, I'm not learned in that area. But some people are too proud to state that. Or, I need to look into that because that's something that my preacher didn't tell me. But don't be dismissive with it doesn't matter. When everything going down on the earth right now currently is written in the scriptures you claim to uphold. Everything. So, Elder, we going in. We are going in, and do I have some announcements today? Elder Lawyer, how many years have I been telling people to not to go to Jordan?
For the last maybe decade, since that's become a hot topic for people who have decided to eventually take that route.
And I told people, I'm like, don't go over there. And I told people, many people were saying we need to make a move into Israel. All those people that was going over there trying to get some notoriety, originally off of the backs of this church, have been totally dismantled for not listening. The majority of people that are out there are rebels against the work. These are people who are individuals who feel that they cannot be told anything. And now they're out there. And guess what? When we were putting things out there to help people, folks, it's not a detriment to us if someone doesn't listen. Okay? It's not as if we're telling you something that will personally benefit us. We're telling you something we know according to what we've learned. And you would have the same people who originally learned under the church, didn't know anything before then, but then the Most High showed them that, that we are procrastinating, so they got to go forward and do what they got to do. I'm like, you know what? Hey, if that's what the Most High is telling you to do, knock yourself out. But what I'm about to lay out, Elder Lawyer, it will leave no question about everything going on currently and what will happen prophetically. Now, again, if anyone out there want to know whether or not the Bible and the Apocrypha and the Word of God is true, refer them back to this particular broadcast, October 2nd, so-called 2024. Refer them to this particular video. Okay? No one has to worry about Russia in particular. Russia is aligned with the 10 horns, and all of Europe is making America a laughing stock so that they can dispose of the harlot they created. That's all that is. They're using America as the fall guy for everything, intentionally, geopolitically. Hence the reason they'll give you a president who everyone knows was degenerative as far as his neurological senses were, as a showing of your strength, of America's strength throughout the earth, to become a laughing stock. And then they'll follow it with someone who came from somewhere else who everyone knows isn't qualified as a woman. It's all intentional, so that the world powers who have lost confidence in America can all align themselves against America. And this is a plan directly from Esau himself. Now, in the wake of it, they're seeking to destroy the children of Israel in America. Why? Because the children of Israel in America is responsible for telling the truth and waking the whole world up concerning who is the true Israelites. And when that began to resonate throughout the earth, the whole world, even those who thought the people over there were Israel, began to question anything. And that teaching alone shattered Christian theology, shattered any other religion that our people should be dealing with. It shattered the thought that we should participate with anything outside of Christ and the God who gave us the commandments. So in the wake of them destroying America, they're focusing on the voice of Judah. Make no mistake about it. It's the Lion of Judah that has awakened everything and have everyone questioning everybody. Huh? So we're going to talk. We're going to break this down piece by piece tonight. Your Christian churches, guess what? They have used up their usefulness. The modern day Christian church, they have used up their usefulness. The Most High has taken down all pagans and any one of our people who is actually attached to paganism. He's taken down all pagan temples in the wake of this. So we're going to show you what the enemy's doing, but we're going to show you what God is doing in the wake of it, so you can see everything geopolitically. When you look at the news, you'll be able to open the Bible and know exactly what you're looking at according to the true understanding of the word. October 2nd, 2024. Remember this broadcast. Fair use, and boy, do I have some announcements, but listen, I'm jumping right into it. There's so much to talk about. Okay, that's enough for my monologue. But I told people, you got people running around, targeting old people, getting people to leave everything they have and sell everything and give it to them, only to be destroyed over there in these other countries, and leaving these people out there to be utterly destroyed. After I warned them over a decade. Okay? Even when I traveled, folks, lawyer know and everyone else know, I've never had a situation where I'm traveling and I told people to sell what they have and give to me so I can help them do something somewhere. That's madness.
Right.
And you have these people out there making fleeing a hustle, linking in with Arabs and all that, taking advantage of our people over in Jordan and over in different parts. And the Most High is dealing with them. I'm not going to say he's going to deal with them. For them not listening, he's dealing with them. Let's start here, Elder Lawyer. Let's go to Amos in the Bible. Let's go to Amos 3 and 7.
Yes, sir. Amos 3, verse number 7.
Okay, let me make sure they all can see this. Right? Matter of fact, Elder Lawyer, start at the 6th verse, if you will.
Yes, sir. Amos chapter 3, verse number 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord have not done it?
Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High didn't allow it to go down? Read.
Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
So a secret is exactly that. Everyone is not going to have the understanding to what's going on real time geopolitically as far as prophecy goes. That's why the majority of people you run into, Muslim or Christian, they'll tell you it doesn't matter. Or they'll just give you the surface explanation to why Israel is over there fighting. While the Palestinians, they'll think people are greedy and they just want to take land. They have no idea that it's way bigger than this. Money means nothing to these people. Money is a tool for control. Okay? Money don't mean nothing to them. The only time money matters to them if they can use it as a tool to consolidate power and control people. So when y'all think, oh, it's about money, these people are greedy, you're missing the prophecy. Surely the Lord doeth nothing but he reveal his secret unto the servants, the prophets, showing you that everyone isn't going to be able to crack this combination concerning what's going on in the earth today. It's a secret. And why did the Most High make it this way? So that when these codes are unlocked, people would understand where they should be attending their ears to. Okay? When somebody start connecting the dots that no one could have revealed to you, obviously the Most High is working through that what? That machination. Whatever you would like to call it. Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Read.
Verse 8. The lion have roared, who will not fear?
And we know the Lion of Judah is Christ. And he've used Judah to awaken the whole earth, especially the Judeans. It's the Judeans, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that's waking up the other 10 tribes and bringing them together. The lion have roared, and who will not fear? The Lord, go ahead.
The Lord God hath spoken, who can but prophesy?
And who can but prophesy? If you know the Bible, you should be prophesying in these times when you're seeing those missiles going back and forth over in the Middle East. What is that about? You can't say it's a fight for the Holy Land or a fight concerning an epic battle between other people and God's people, because God's people are suffering throughout the earth. God's people are on the bottom. God's people have no power to have missiles or bombs. God's people are suffering. The children of Israel are suffering under the hands of our oppressors. And either side fighting one another have had their hand in our oppression. So it's not a fight over the Holy Land, folks. That's what people don't realize. That's just one piece of it. But I'm going to break it down to you today. Remember this date. The lion hath roared. Who will not fear? The Lord God have spoken. Who can but prophesy? Anyone that's looking at what's going on right now have been waiting to be able to stand on this word and state what? The Bible is the unrefutable word of God. the undisputable word of God. Anyone who ever claimed that they wanted to show that they're in the right place believing in this book, now is your opportunity if you understand the prophecies. Because the Quran can't break down what's going on over there. See? The Most High says, publish what, Elder Lawyer, in 9?
Verse 9, publish in the palaces at Ashdod.
Hold up. Ashdod is the seaport city of Israel. And the Bible states in Zechariah that a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Woo! What does that mean? A fatherless child will take the land of Israel in the end. Let's talk. So now it's time to publish and let everybody know that judgment is coming to Ashdod. It's here. And you know what? Even the Europeans knew that this judgment would come. When they went there in 1948, it wasn't to stay there permanently. It was to destabilize all of that and go back to the 10 horns before the coming of our Lord and Savior, before the last hour. It was to destabilize that whole area. As long as God's people are suffering in the earth, there'll never be peace in Israel. As long as they use and abuse the Israelites throughout the world, there will never be peace there. That's why there's war, because they continue to war against the chosen people of God. Huh? Let's talk. There'll never be any peace in the Middle East when our people are suffering. Our people are homeless. Our people are being sex trafficked all over the earth. There'll never be any peace. How can there be peace in Israel when the Israelites are suffering? So God is saying what? Publishing the policies of Ashdod. Let them know in their high cities that the judgment is coming from God. And it doesn't matter what they're trying to hold on geopolitically. It was prophesied that they would lose it all. And in the palaces, and where, Elder Lawyer?
And in the palaces in the land of Egypt.
In the land of Egypt. A lot of people don't know, folks, that Egypt has been under martial law since the 70s, under Mubarak. Now, let me tell you, Egypt is a powerful country, but they're being drawn in the war. And I'm going to show you today that that's prophecy too. So we're publishing this to them too. See? And see, the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. Okay? We're not in this war. We have no dog in the fight. Okay? We have no dog in this fight. This fight is against all the nations who have always conspired against us. And guess what? Our God is at war with all of them. The God of the Hebrews, Christ, the Son of God. He's standing as that roaring lion, and he have commanded the ministering spirits to begin what? You got it, folks. Realm war. To bring down the nations that have always destroyed our people. And he say what, Elder Lawyer?
And say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and behold the great tumult in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof.
And the oppressed is in the midst thereof. Why is he preparing these nations to actually self-sabotage themselves? I'm going to put it that way. Why? I'm going to break down Egypt. I'm going to break down Ashdod today. I'm going to break down Iran. And it's only going to take, it's not going to take long at all. We're here. See? We are here. Read the 10th verse, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Verse 10.
This is why.
For they know not to do right, saith the Lord.
Because the Most High have given them all the power of the earth when our people fell, when we lost Judea, when we lost Samaria. He gave them all the power of the earth, and they still refuse to do right. You would think with all their power, they would push righteousness on the earth. But now they're focusing on turning your boy into a little girl. Promoting just straight debauchery and evil and wickedness. He gave them the earth. Let me tell you, these nations could not rule if our God didn't give them the power. And instead of them paying reverence to that God and in respect of that God, instead of them treating us right, they lied, not to us, but the world. The Most High says, listen, if you can't do right with everything, you'll never do right. Why, what else you want? I've given you the world. I've given my people over so that you can rule them for a time for chastisement. And you still can't do right? You still want to deceive? What else do you want? For they know not to do right. It's in their power through their media and everything else to influence this world in righteousness if that's what they wanted to do. They have the right to put nothing but righteous programming according to the law on radio, on TV, and they do the opposite. Made the whole world into degenerates. He says they know what's right. It's as if they're looking into the word of God and seeing what God said is a law and say, you know what? As if they looked in the book and says, we're going to promote the direct opposite. For they know not to do right, saith God. Read.
Who store up violence and robbery in their policies.
The only thing they know how to do is to conspire how to store up violence and robbery in their high places. A never-ending war, because when you steal, rob, kill, deceive, you have to continue in the like for your empire to continue. And that's what happens when you build what? An empire on lies, deceit, and blood. You're so paranoid with all of your lies and destruction, you feel that at any day, anyone can now come and oppose your wickedness based on your past. And living in a world of paranoia, living in a world where you must stay violent because you built a world on violence. Well, eventually that comes to a head. Elder Lawyer, I'm going to play something real quick. Where are we today? Check this out. Check this out. And guess what? Fair use. For educational purposes only, I'm exercising my freedom of religion, using what's going on in the world to show Bible prophecy. What's going on right now? Fair use.
Good evening and welcome. It was Iran who struck tonight in the ever-spiraling cycle of violence in the Middle East. The U.S. says around 200 Iranian ballistic missiles launched from Iran rained down across Israel this evening, sending people running for cover. Just moments after air raid sirens sounded, the sky filled with streaks of light. Incoming missiles, many appearing to explode in the air, intercepted by Israeli and American defenses. Iran launching waves of missiles toward Israel in retaliation for its recent killing of the leader of Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed militia group. Remarkably, Israel says there were no deaths and few injuries as a result of the missile strikes this evening.
Let's hold it right there. The October surprise, October 1st. How will this affect the election? We're going to go there too, but not before breaking down the prophecy. We all seen what happened? October 1st, what happened? Missiles rained down from Iran in response to. And I'm going to tell you, folks, and I've learned this. Brothers and sisters, they have always used Hollywood as a distraction for what they're really doing geopolitically throughout the world. Anytime they were looking to take some land or to destroy over in Israel, look into it. Destroying other areas and usually doing things under the cloud of having the right to protect oneself. You should see the headlines that were in America during the same time. Wacko Jacko on trial. Okay? Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson, the trial of the century. Okay? Over and over again. P. Diddy, how many bottles of lubes were in the room? See? Because they understand the attention span of the everyday American. While they promote and publish real news and what I would say logical and substance, news with substance everywhere else except America. As if they don't want us to be able to put the pieces together geopolitically and prophetically. Right? So, let's talk about this real quick before I go there, Elder Lawyer. Before I go into what's going on there. Right? Missiles, October 1st. As you can see, Iran finally started responding, which is prophetic. Ismail Haniyeh, what's the fallout from Hamas leaders' assassination 2 months ago, July the 1st, 2024? There was an assassination of one of the Iranian leaders. And it says right here, look at it, it says it. Fair use.
The security of the region is the security of all Muslims, and we do not want any war or bloodshed. Since I assumed the presidency, every speech I've made has emphasized our quest for peace and security.
Iran president warns retaliation from Israel will lead to a harsher response from Tehran. Now, unless you understand who the people are in the Bible, you have no idea the gravity prophetically, the prophetic gravity of these statements. Right? Now, I'm talking about something that happened, a while back. Right? July 31st, this was up there, where they started taking out the leaders within Iran. And this, it's not a full-scale war, but it's a proxy war that has been going on for decades now over territory. Okay? Now, I need y'all to check this out. What are we seeing with the stars and all that? Or what appears to be stars in the sky. When I say stars, it looks like stars are being shot. Let me show this real quick. It looked as if stars are being shot in the air. Fair use. Educational purposes. Freedom of religion, prophecy, fair use.
And Israel this week had invaded Lebanon and moving the forces into the south, which remains to be very critical to be monitored. Now, getting more updates after Iran has fired missiles on Israel, Israel has closed its airspace following the massive attack. Jordan and Iraq has also closed their airspaces.
Jordan and Iraq closed their airspaces. Now I'm going to talk about the airspaces opening and closing and why they're doing it now, right? And I'm going to go into that because they're going to allow people to leave a little bit up until the time, probably about 2 to 3 weeks before they close it down altogether. They already have a lot of backup based on the retaliation, what the retaliation should be from Israel to Iran. They already have a station backup in Cyprus ready for warfare. So they're going to only open up the airspace for a couple of weeks to let certain people out of the country before you'll never, at that point, once they close it, you may never get out of some of those areas while they're being bombed.
As tensions soar in the Middle East. Flights have been redirected to alternative destinations outside Israel. All right, joining me at this point of time is my colleague Prathamesh. Prathamesh, now as the war in the airspace between Israel and Iran actually intensified, and over the week the conflict even worsened, now the airspace have been closed at Israel, Iraq, Jordan have done so, and the flights have been redirected. In this situation, what this means for the people who are actually stuck in Israel and wanting to get out?
What about the people that are stuck in Israel in different places and would like to get out? Now, they should have known better when over what? When over, they say over 20,000. Over 20,000 high diplomats from Israel left the country within a 1 week period about 3 weeks ago. Obviously, someone got the memo.
Yes, correct. As we have seen the way.
Okay, let me move Kamala's people off the screen real quick. Kamala's people. Let me move that back out there because I need some clear English going on over here. We going back. I'm gonna handle that in a moment, but we're going into the Bible. But listen to what this says. Listen to their detailed description of what's going on over there. Fair use in Israel.
Attacks not a surprise after U.S. intelligence several hours earlier warned a missile attack by Iran was imminent. This evening, Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu making clear there will be a response. Our team witnessed it all from the ground. Raf Sanchez leads us off with the latest now from northern Israel.
It began just after 7:30 local time.
I can tell you at this moment, the skies above us are lighting up.
What looked to us from the grounds like deadly shooting stars.
You heard that, Elder Lawyer? It says what looked like from the ground, deadly shooting stars. Now, Elder Lawyer, if you were to hear this in our current time and was living, just say if you were able to move between ancient times and current times, and someone says it looks like deadly shooting stars, what scripture, now folks, Elder Lawyer will tell you that I rarely at all speak to him about what I put together for monologue and for teaching every Wednesday. Only thing I do is call him in. Correct, Elder Lawyer?
Done.
All right. So if you were to hear, after all we've been teaching for years, even since I first met you, even before YouTube, that you hear something on YouTube or in the news that says something like deadly shooting stars, what prophecy pops out at you, Elder Lawyer?
Prophecy, I believe, 2nd Ezra 15.
There you go. I have it right here. 2nd Ezra 15, 20 through 31. Right? How long have we been talking about this? Right?
Since I came into this this truth, and I know you've been teaching it long before that, so Lord knows.
So when you hear deadly shooting stars, automatically someone who's been studying prophecy would be able to give you the reveal or the secrets of that based on where we are in prophecy. Got it written down right here. Elder Lawyer, let's read it. Let's read it, and then I'm going to put the description up. Exactly how Ezra seen it is what we're witnessing on the news today. Let me pull it up here.
Right.
Second Esdras. Second Esdras 15. And this is why it's important to know what race is who. Our God gave us end-day prophecy according to the original families that were named out of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And if you don't know these families, you have no idea what these wars are about. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 15. And Elder Lawyer, I need you to start at 20. Start at 20, the 20th verse.
Yes, sir. 2nd Esdras 15, verse 20.
Come on.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them.
Look at that. He's turning all of the nations against one another. Now, how does that work in our favor? Well, that works in our favor because they were a confederate against our people. They were united in upholding the lies and distorting history so that all of them can work together to enslave and have our children serve them. They were all together in distorting our history. That's why when you go over Egypt, I went to the Alexandria Library. Everything we're teaching here is in that library. But even the Egyptians helped the Grecians and the Romans distort history so to not have us know in America that we are those people that made Egypt great. So they all conspired together when our people went into captivity and say, you know what? We're going to lie concerning past history so that they'll never find their way back. And we'll be able to take full advantage of God's people forever, enrich ourselves off of the back of the chosen people of God. So even though it's going to be mayhem in the earth, the Most High is telling you why this is going on all over the world, where nations who were once united together against us would begin to battle one against another. And why? I need y'all to think about this. Even though these nations may hate one another, there's one place when it comes to us, they're united. They can strictly hate each other. You can have a Palestinian and a white Jew who aren't aligned politically. They will fight according to the conflict. But let me come into the room. Okay? If you have a Zionist and a Palestinian together, guess what? They'll be like, well, listen, even though you and us having issues, that's how we have to unite just for a second until we get them out of the room. Right? I need y'all to check that out. They have all these conflicts, but when our people come into play, who don't, let me tell you, we don't have enough to do what? Crush a fly. We don't have nothing. We've been totally taken advantage of and destitute in this earth. But what's the threat? It seems like when we come in a room, two enemies can unite against us. Why? Because the Bible says that they have an ancient confederate together against us. And what they're fighting for pales in comparison to what happens if our people rise above them. See, they know the prophecies. They know, at least when we with Israel at the bottom, they have something to fight over. When we come into glory under Christ, they'll have nothing to fight over. Everything goes back to its rightful owners. Are y'all following me here? Huh? Are y'all following me? Let's go back now.
Yes, sir. Verse 21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen.
It says, like as they do this day to my who?
Unto my chosen.
So he says, just like you've destroyed my people, and my people have no military to go against you, they don't have nothing. So geopolitically, things will arise where I'll have you fight against one another because my people are defenseless. My people have no weapons. They only have me. That's what God is saying. They only have us. The whole world have given our people nothing. Africa is sitting on all the resources of the earth and don't even have nuclear weapons to defend the resources under their feet. That's intentional. Because they were born on the land according to the nations. The Africans or the Israelites living in Africa, they were born on those resources to mine the resources for their enemies. That's the only reason they're allowing our people to actually be standing on that fertile land, is because they need poor labor to mine it for Esau, for Japheth, for Ishmael. See? You wonder why they allow our people to stay in Africa. Well, they keep them poor and allow them to mine all of those rich resources that feed the world. So because of that, they cannot give Africa any power to oppose the elite. Okay? There's free labor, there's poor labor born there every day. In the tens of thousands, in the millions. See? So that's the whole thing. So our people have nothing. So he says, so now our God is saying, you know what? They're going to begin realm wars that will allow these nations to start fighting against one another. And slowly that will begin to break the curse off of our people. While they're distracted with all these fights, God's people, guess what? The Most High is sending the angels that are now waking us up all over the earth and saying, listen, these wars are important. It's important that we understand our God is warring in the realm against them for us. And he's raising us up with the knowledge and preparation to do what? To take our rightful place according to prophecy. Same time he's dismantling the world. He's waking us up, giving us the law, giving us the book, and saying, okay, your forefathers had a shot at this. Your turn is coming. Your turn is coming. But I must dismantle the nations I put in place to keep you in servitude for a time. See? Read on.
Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord God.
Where are you?
Verse 22.
22, let me get there. Go ahead.
My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is going out from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. So the Most High is bringing an amendment throughout the earth through these wars, and the sinners are being taken out in the wake of it too. So not only is he taking out the other nations, he's taking out the sinners of our people who refuse to do right. Read.
25. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
Come on.
27. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him.
Come on.
28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east.
Now here's the sign showing the judgment that comes on the earth. A horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. What is this vision? 29.
And the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots.
Many chariots, which are ships or flying machines. Read.
And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth.
So how do you carry something upon the wind of the earth? They're flying. So the prophets are actually seeing vehicles flying in the air. Back then, that technology was unheard of. So what did they? So they would use what? The technology of their time or the inventions of their time to describe what they were seeing, future tense. So because there weren't flying machines back then, Esdras is saying, well, listen, I'm seeing a flying chariot. Right? Chariots would roll on the ground back then. But he's saying, no, he's seeing something, a vehicle in the air on the wind. What he's seeing is our time. Right? Read on.
30. Also the Carmanians raging.
Hold up. With many chariots.
Yes, sir. With many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth.
They'll be flying. Read.
That all they which hear them may fear and tremble.
Now check this out. Now that's going to give you the nation the Most High is going to use to bring that fear. And this is why it's so important for us to understand what's going on over in Israel. It has nothing to do with some repatriation back to the motherland based on prophecy like they claimed, okay, with the restoration of 1948. That's some evangelical nonsense, okay? 2 Esdras 15 and 30 reads what?
Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
And they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Now, Elder Lawyer, now let's do a little lesson if we can for the people. Right?
God.
Let's start off with the Carmanians. Let's start off with Carmanians. The Carmanian region, right? And let's go here. The Carmon. Now don't forget, they just destroyed what? They just started killing a lot of diplomats from Iran. So it says Carmania, Old Persian, Middle Persian, Qimran. And look what it says here, folks. Look, check it out. Look, Iran. Now there's more. Iran. And was a province of Amanid. Now we know Seleucid came through under the Alexander the Greek, and they started building some buildings there and all that, some Greek Greek architecture. But then check out what it says with the province of Amanid. Now we must highlight the province of Amanid for our current time, which is what Esdras was seeing. Well, when you go to the Amanid Empire, it says what? Look at this. Achaemenid Empire, the Persian Empire, standard of Cyrus the Great. And guess what? It would be modern day, it's modern day Iran. Modern day Iran is who? It's modern day Iran. It's the ancient Persian Empire, which is modern day Iran. The same area Darius the Great ruled from. It's modern day Iran, the Carmanians. Modern day Iran. So it's important that we understand prophecy. Now I'm reading, Elder Lawyer, we're reading from the same Apocrypha that Jesuit theologians told their lapdogs in these theologian schools not to read. So if T.D. Jakes or whoever these guys are, they go to one of these theologian schools and get some type of doctorate to preach the word, they are told not even to go into the Apocrypha by their paymasters. So how could any of these preachers let you know what's going on in the Middle East right now when they're told not to actually read from a complete book? Don't you know the Apocrypha was in the original King James Version? So now let's go back to that star, Elder.
Yes, sir. 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. And
then shall what?
The dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
Remembering their nature. Like it was under Xerxes, Darius. See? Madmen through war. Xerxes was known for going around and destroying the enemies and doing what? Drying the skull of the kings they defeated and putting it on a necklace around his neck. To show you the insanity that's with some of these people in warfare. So now they're remembering their nature before the Most High took the empire from them. They're remembering how they gained power in the past. Speaking of the Iranians. Read. It says they will have the upper hand.
Yes, sir. Salakia. Then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings.
Political uprising and what? Moving political leaders around in place because there's assassinations and all we're witnessing right now. That's what we're reading here. Read.
34.
Behold,
the clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm.
Come on, verse
35.
35. Hold on, let's get it. 35. Read it.
They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth.
They shall strike down. So it's if missiles are being sent by Iran, and now Israel is striking some of them down. Ezra's seen this over 500 years before Christ was born. He's seen what we're witnessing on TV right now. That there'll be missiles, but what he's seeing is something looking like a star, while the enemy has another star striking it down to defend their homeland. Well, not their homeland, the current land they have stolen. And it says, and read on.
It says 35, they shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth.
Stars upon the earth, come on.
Even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly.
It's talking about the number of casualties through these wars between them, the Palestinians, and the Iranians. Bloodshed is what Ezra was seeing. Read.
And dung, 36, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof. 37. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them.
Especially the people who are there witnessing this in the region. Verse
38.
Hold on, let me get it because this mouse is acting up here. Read.
38. And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. And strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it. And the clouds which he raised up in wrath, and the stars stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind, shall be destroyed.
That means they're using what? Missiles to knock out other missiles. Heat-seeking missiles as defense is what Esdras, brothers and sisters, prophesied. Now hold that, elder lawyer. Hold that. Fair use. Now, a lot of these guys you see here, even though they're actually, some of these people are saying they're there, some of this, they don't have the guts to be in the midst of all of this. So sometimes, even though if it's happening, they'll have a screen behind them as they're reporting on this, okay? But it doesn't change the fact that the events are happening. So some of these reports with the screens behind them is for effect. But it's happening nonetheless, okay? Check this out.
The skies above us are lighting up.
What looked to us from the grounds like deadly shooting stars, Iranian ballistic missiles slamming down one after another near...
Look at this, as if they read directly out of 2nd Esdras, elder lawyer.
Right.
So when you read the Bible, it says like stars. The prophets are using what? They're using the words based on the descriptions of what they understood at that time. They knew nothing of missiles, but they know what a shooting star looks like.
What looked to us from the grounds like deadly shooting stars, Iranian ballistic missiles slamming down one after another near an Israeli airbase. Also seen over Jerusalem's western wall and across the country.
Fair use.
Israel says its air defenses taking out most of the incoming missiles.
We are seeing some of these missiles there.
You see that? Where it talks about taking out another star or an enemy star. Esdras is seeing them using their own missiles. Israel using their missiles. Esau using his missiles to take out the Iranian missiles. Hit that like button.
They are either falling apart, a sign that they have been intercepted, or they are making their way down towards the ground here in northern Israel.
The IDF says around 180 Iranian missiles fired in total in 2 waves, minutes apart.
We are once again seeing the skies lighting up now.
Traveling the nearly 1,000 miles from Iran to Israel in just 11 minutes. Later, like millions of others, we took cover when we heard the warning sirens.
That's the sirens. We're going to head to safety.
Yeah, he going to the back room around the corner. He going to the bathroom talking about head to safety. It's clear that he's in front of a screen, but it doesn't change the fact it's happening.
Like millions of others, we took cover when we heard the warning sirens.
Look at this.
That's the sirens. We're going to head to safety.
President Biden...
He's probably reporting from Atlanta right now. But all in all, the missiles they're reporting about are actually happening. Okay? Now, we all know that there's other people running this thing outside of who they're showing us. So we're going to move this out of the way and just deal with the prophecy of it now. Elder Lawyer, let's go back to Esdras.
Yes, sir. Second Esdras 15, verse number 40.
Yes, sir.
The great and mighty cloud shall be puffed up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place an horrible star.
A horrible star, like he said, the one that's over Jerusalem and different key areas. Right? Read.
It says, fire and hail, verse 41, fire and hail and flying swords and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters.
And that's talking about when some of these strikes happen, it's going to cause tidal waves in the future hits that are coming. Read on.
Verse number 42.
So what's next? Read.
And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and grass of the meadows, and their corn. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon, and make her afraid.
So eventually this war is going to lead to what? Israel calling America into the war. And at that point, now we have some time for that, but it will happen. At that point, what we are witnessing over Israel, we're going to be witnessing in some major cities in the United States. Now, we do have time, but we know, according to Esdras, the war comes back to America. And this is what really the 10 horns want, so that they can gain and consolidate power, because America has taken full power and have taken the shine off of the countries who made it. Now, once it goes back to Rome, that's a whole nother deal. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You notice that Americans, Elder Lawyer and brothers and sisters, that American Jews have dual citizenship, which means if they identify or were born Jewish, automatically they have dual citizen status. They can go over Israel with their dual citizenship, get free medical care, finances, and housing, and all that is a part of them. That's just a perk, being born Jewish anywhere in the world, including the United States. Well, some people will say, well, what's going on in Israel? Why would anyone want to go there with the dual citizenship? Well, brothers and sisters, that dual citizenship gives them access to the world. It's not just about going to Israel. There's many Jewish people who are now going into Portugal and all of that. As a matter of fact, it's your tax dollars, the international tax dollars, including Americans' tax dollars, that are paying them to be able to go any place they want under asylum seeking right now, and that's not getting reported. So a lot of Jewish people in America will have refuge in other parts of the world when America is judged. They'll get the report to go any place they want back into the 10 horns. Right? Before Iran began to set their sights on America. But we do have time for that. Okay? Probably talking, when I'm looking at this prophetically, probably in a couple of years. I don't know if Trump will be in position or what, but the war is going to stay a proxy war for a while until Iran declares, until Israel and America together declare war against Iran. And when that happens, all bets are off. Okay? What do I mean from that? Every security measure you see they put in place to travel will be warranted. Will be warranted. When you go to the airports and it seems like it's Gestapo and all this and they're over the top, well, guess what? When they declare that war, all of that security in the earth will be needed. Okay? Now, where are we going? I said October surprise. That's the first October surprise, right? I'm going to show you where it all culminates together. Well, guess what? Another October surprise happened all at once. And what was that? A storm came out of nowhere and wrecked part of the South, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina in particular, we're going to talk about, and parts of Virginia. What was that about? Almost the same time, missiles were raining down in Israel. Folks, what if you find out that all of that is connected? Well, hold tight, and we're going to deal with the other part of what? The October surprise that leads to war. Hold tight.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Okay, lawyer. I have some announcements because, hey, wait till you see what we're going into the next academy. But do us a favor as we segue over to the storms. Okay? The storm in particular during the October 1st surprise. All weekend leading up to October 1st. Now, before I go into this, let me show one thing real quick. Right? Okay. Boom. Now, segueing off of this story real quick, since I told people for years they need to, fall under guidance and stop just going willy-nilly all around the world claiming you're going somewhere with no direction. Okay? With no proper leadership or anything, and then trying to coax other people into financing your madness. Now, let me show this real quick. The U.S. Embassy in Jordan put out a security alert. And folks, this security alert happened well before it all went down. In the security alert, it says what? Let me blow this up real quick. The United States has inclinations that Iran is preparing to imminently launch a ballistic missile attack against Israel. Please maintain maximum awareness, and in the event of such an incident, seek overhead cover and remain indoors until further notice. Right? Due to high tensions, in the region, the security environment remains complex and can change quickly. We remind U.S. citizens of the continued need for caution and encourage them to monitor the news for breaking developments. The U.S. Embassy in Jordan will continue to review situation to provide additional information as needed. Now check this out. When it all happened, October 1st surprise, and I had this news article when it happened, Israeli airspace is closed amid Iran attack as Jordan, Iraq also shut their airspace. What does this mean? If you are someone traveling in these regions, especially if you are a black person, okay, when it comes to getting people out of these areas during a time of war, guess who gets the priority? Every other people outside of us. And it doesn't matter if you have a United States passport or nationality. It doesn't matter. Everyone knows in these regions how black people are treated. Now, you can call your embassy and all that, but there's nothing your embassy can do during time of war when the airports were told that all planes must stay landed because airspace is shut down. And usually when this happens, those of high class and diplomats are the only people that have the opportunity to get out of danger first. Now, what do I do know? Because I'm keeping my eye on this. I told people not to go in these regions. They're going to give people, they're going to open back up. Some places open back up today, right? Some airlines, not all of them. And they're going to give people about 2 to 3 weeks to be able to contact their embassy and get back to their home country. Okay? Now, for those who don't take heed to that, hey, pray that the Most High have all these missiles that coming pass you by. Okay? Now, I'm going to put that out there. Now, the other thing, Elder Lawyer, before I go into the weather. Before we go into the weather, I said that there was something about Egypt. Egypt is in that prophecy we were talking about earlier, Elder. Where does Egypt come in at? Well, check this out. Now, someone told me this years ago, and now it's coming into full volition. Someone told me years ago that America, an Egyptian said that it was Americans as well as Israelis that they had plans to build a great dam in Ethiopia. In that great dam, he says, if they build that great dam, Egypt is going to war. Why? Why? One might ask. Well, if they build this dam successfully, the Nile River dries up. The Nile River feeds millions upon millions of people, folks. The majority of Egypt will not survive, especially Upper Egypt, without the Nile River. And he said, this Egyptian guy said, if America and Israel get Ethiopia to build this dam that actually feeds the Nile River, Egypt is going to war. Check this out. While everyone was running around in August 2020 believing whatever they were talking about, the controversy over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, right? A long history of conflict and a shift in power dynamics. Although conflict over the allocation of the waters of the Nile River has existed for many years, the dispute, especially that between Egypt and Ethiopia significantly escalated when the latter commenced construction of the Dam of the Blue Nile in 2011. Ethiopia, whose highlands supply more than 85% of the water that flows into the Nile River. Folks, I had a conversation with people over there while I was traveling the world before any of this happened. Has long argued that it has the right to utilize the natural resources to address widespread poverty and improve the living standards of its people. Although Ethiopia has argued with the hydroelectric GERD will not significantly affect the flow of the water of the Nile, which is a lie, Egypt, which depends almost entirely on the Nile waters for household and commercial uses, sees the dam as a major threat to its water security. Now, so what does this mean? Well, in the midst of this war, where all sides are already volatile, check this out. Now check this out. What's going on here? Check this out. 3 days ago, because they built this dam, Elder Lawyer, they built the dam. They actually built the dam. Let me show you. I'm going to show you. Let me pull it up here. Right here. Check this out. Let me get it here.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia announced on Sunday the successful completion of the fourth and final filling of the Grand Renaissance Dam on the Nile. The dam has been the source of regional tensions with downstream Egypt and Sudan. Abiy made this announcement via a message on social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. In his statement, Abiy Ahmed acknowledged the numerous challenges faced during the dam's construction, including internal difficulties and external pressures. The massive 4.2 billion dam, considered crucial by Addis Ababa, has been a focal point of regional dispute since Ethiopia initiated its construction in 2011. Egypt has been concerned that the dam could reduce its share of Nile water. The ongoing negotiations, which resumed after a hiatus of nearly 2.5 years, aim to achieve an agreement that takes into consideration the interests and concerns of all three countries involved. Egyptian Irrigation Minister Hani Siwilam called for an end to unilateral actions in this context.
Now, they went and built the dam anyway. So because they built the dam anyway, in the midst of Iran losing their strategists and high officials, look at what's going on right now in the Middle East. Fair use. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi expressed support for Lebanon during a phone call with Prime Minister Najib Mikati. That's right, folks. Egypt now is what? Egypt openly supports Lebanon and announced aid deployment to Lebanon. They're going into the war with Iran. And one of the major reasons is that they were warned not to build the dam because what? If they build this dam, it's a death sentence for millions upon millions of Egyptians. Now, why would they want to actually cause this harm to the Egyptians, one might ask? Well, because Egyptians have nuclear power And they have what? The most populated country in Africa with nuclear power. That's the standing army that most fear outside of Iran in the Middle East. So in order to get rid of your greatest threat that you cannot fight head on based on the numbers, what better way to do it than to what? Starve them out by drying up the Nile. Elder Lawyer, another Bible prophecy before I segue to the weather.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Isaiah 19 now. Let's go to Isaiah 19. So what is Egypt experiencing right now? They're being pulled into the war. Let's go to Isaiah 19.
Yes, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 19, from the top.
From the top, my brother. You know where I'm going. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Isaiah 19, verse number 1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
And let me tell you, I've been to Egypt, and you have never seen so many superstitious people who worship many gods over in the Middle East. Most people think that they're all Muslims, but you should see how many gods they worship separate outside of Allah. So they're going to seek to their idols, their charmers, all of that. Read.
And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts.
Come on, 5.
Verse 5. And the waters shall fail from the sea.
Read it again.
And the waters shall fail from the sea.
And what?
The river shall be wasted and dried up.
The river shall be wasted and dried up. And folks, in another text, it says the Nile River. The river that feeds Egypt is going to dry up. And now, how did the Most High have that come into play? Yeah. What he did? He allowed the nations to join together at the end to build the Nile River. To build the Great Dam. And the Great Dam, folks, of Ethiopia is bringing that prophecy into play that will starve out millions of Egyptians and force them into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Force them into the war. Huh? Tell me the Bible isn't true. Huh? Somebody tell me the Bible isn't true. And when those rivers dry up, they will be a highway for our people into the wilderness. That's a whole nother lesson, but we're just dealing with current prophecy here. Right? Now let's come here to America for the other Elder Lawyer October surprise. Anybody in the Middle East region who know the truth, and in Israel, Jordan, any place like that, you better get out of those areas. Okay? If you don't, hey, it's your life. All right? Now, like I mentioned earlier, they are building the dam, and the Most High is allowing them to do this because it's forcing the Egyptians into the war. right? Now, eventually, the Jews, the white Jews that are over in Israel, are going to go back to Europe anyway, under asylum. A lot of them are doing it already. And guess what? Those who don't listen, the people, their own people that's over there, eventually will be a sacrifice. That's what Holocaust. Holocaust means burnt sacrifice. So that 6 million, hey, it's almost a self-fulfilled prophecy, isn't it? Now, a lot of people don't even know that Holocaust is a Hebrew word for burnt offering, burnt sacrifice. Okay? Now, let's come into the Americas and let's talk about the October surprise we just dealt with. Why? Because I need y'all to check this out, folks, real quick. I was told, based on my meeting, Elder Lawyer, with the brothers, and I thank the Most High that our family and the church members that are in Asheville, you know, where the storm hit hard, are healthy, they're doing well, and everything is good. But in conversation, there's some conversations amongst those in Asheville and others on whether or not levees were taken down in the midst of the storm. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know there's something mysterious going on with the town or the city of Asheville. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about it. Let me move this out of the way. Let's talk about it. There's a few things I wanted to pull up here. Hold on. Real quick. Now, when the Bushes went over into Desert Storm, and then George W. went into Afghanistan, we was asking, like, what does this have to do with 911? It seemed like 911 and what happened September 11th gave an excuse to go into any country they wanted to. But I digress. One thing that we found out that when they went over to Afghanistan, they were able to now put certain mountains under their military control that mined lithium. Mountains filled with lithium. Now, of course, they would need the lithium because based on the next stage of their technology, they wanted everyone to have a phone or a tracker in their hands, and they were going into the computer age in which computers and all of that would run on lithium batteries. So in order to do that, they had to bring in or have the majority of the lithium in their control. So it wasn't just going over there for the crude oil. Now, when you go, of course, I do my research on this stuff. Chinese now, and everything America do, China follows and try to get in on it. All right. The Bible tell you that. Chinese investment in Afghanistan's lithium sector, a long shot in the short term. So China's trying to get in on it now. Right. But America already has a great stake in what? In the lithium, because what? They were able to commandeer a lot of these areas through the war in Afghanistan. And of course, they tell Americans it's about Bin Laden, some guy with a wired antenna phone in a cave somewhere. But it's way bigger than that, okay? They understood that they would need the lithium for their trackers, and also to use the lithium to actually get people into being morphed during the time of their what you would call transhumanism period, where even people would be frying their brains taking lithium, right? That's a whole nother conversation. Well, why am I going into that with the October surprise? Well, what we find out, Elder Lawyer, which is eerily mysterious, what we find out is that 70 miles away from Asheville, North Carolina, there's a lithium mine. A mine that now under eminent domain during an emergency can now be controlled through military. Is that quite interesting? Who knows? It could have been a coincidence.
Right.
Did anyone know that there's a large lithium mine right next to Asheville? And now the government can use eminent domain since it's a disaster zone? In the midst of Elon Musk and others who are looking into building more efficient, what you would call electric cars. Well, only if he could get access to the control of what? The lithium. So if you own the lithium, then you can charge whatever you like for those who want to take full advantage of that technology that needs lithium batteries, including electric cars. All right. Check this out.
Oh, yes, they will. And remember, kids, the next time that somebody tells you the government wouldn't do that, oh, yes, they will.
Did you know that there is a huge lithium mine right next to Asheville, where our brothers and sisters were hit in North Carolina? And on the conversation I had, there were some questions. There's questions amongst those who live within the storm on what really happened. Was it the storm that caused the flood and the damage? Or did levees break in the wake of the storm? Okay, listen, I'm just asking questions. But in the midst of that, what I did realize is what? Fair use. Is it possible that governments can use storms? Is there technology where storms can be used as a cover? Well, I know that America and Russia signed a treaty, and that treaty is so that America could not use weather warfare in Russian territory. That's an actual treaty that was signed. Right? So let's think about this for a second. Fair use, educational purposes only.
Bloomfield, Michigan, 1942. As World War II rages across several continents,
fair use.
Acclaimed architect and eventual designer of the St. Louis Arch, Eero Saarinen, is secretly enlisted by the United States military to work for a new clandestine organization. Its name? The OSS, Office of Strategic Services, or as it is known today, the CIA.
The fact that Eero Saarinen was in the OSS designing weapon systems during World War II, and at a time when the OSS was looking into ways to weaponize weather, makes his whole connection to the design of the St. Louis Arch extremely interesting. Now, that isn't to say I believe it can control the weather, but it does open the door to the idea that it might have been one of the things Saarinen was out to achieve.
While at the OSS, Saarinen designed buildings and weapon systems, many of which were never completed or built. Is it possible he later used these secret plans to engineer the St. Louis Arch, creating something that can actually control or perhaps harness the weather?
Controlling the weather is the ultimate superweapon. It's even more powerful than the atomic bomb. So if Eero Saarinen was involved in analyzing and studying the possibility of weather modification, and you put all those factors together, and I think you have a guy that basically conducted a big, giant weather modification experiment with the St. Louis Arch.
Weather as a weapon? There are some who think the idea is not as preposterous as it seems, especially when considering that even today, many world governments are pouring millions of dollars into research designed to manipulate weather.
I think weather modification has definitely been an ongoing endeavor of governments all over the world.
Ongoing endeavor. Oh, it's just a possibility. It's who knows, a conspiracy theory probably. Well, here's the government of Canada when you view the Treaty of it's lettered E103819. And in this particular treaty, it's an agreement between Canada and the United States of America relating to the exchange of information on weather modification activities. You can even put this number in and see that there's a patent on these things. There's a treaty. Why would you have a treaty with a country? An agreement that whatever weapon you have, it cannot be used against that particular country, or vice versa. Okay, a treaty is, don't worry about it. I'm not using this against you. We are aligned with the same interests. So Canada and the United States has a weather modification treaty. So what is it they aren't telling us concerning what they can do if a storm develops when it comes to using HAARP and all of that? Even if a natural weather pattern was to develop, they have the technology under HAARP to move it in strategic areas if it's already close to an area. See? So when that storm start brewing, not that they can create it in of itself, but when the storms naturally brew up, they have ways through radio waves to move it, that can work in their benefit to some degree. And guess what? Under some instances, they can create the storm altogether, according to some of what I seen in that video. So there's a lot of suspicious October surprises going on under this weather. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Asheville, which was hit very hard. Elder Lawyer, I'm hearing a lot of, because we have some church members that was in Asheville, right?
Yes, sir.
And what I'm hearing is eerily similar to some of the testimony during the time of Katrina, where news is saying one thing, but what the people are witnessing on the ground, it isn't really coinciding with how the news is covering this.
Right.
You have a lot of citizens in those areas saying, well, listen, there's something fishy, not behind the storm itself, but how that water was cut loose in Asheville. They don't believe it was a storm. Right? So here it is. This is what I'm going to say real quick. There's a lot of moving parts going on right now. So in the midst of all this, folks, they still moving illegals all over the United States right now. In strategic areas. So the missiles are going on down there, right? Storms happening where they need the lithium, because guess what? They're moving into the next phase for the mark of the beast. They're going to need that lithium. And that lithium is going to be used not just for devices. The people will become the devices. And all of that coincide to be controlled by the beast, be it weather, be it weapons, or even people. They need the lithium. There will be RFID chips, transhumanism. There will be what? Brain chips, hand chips. All the technology is in place, and what they did under COVID, they already put the systems in place, the infrastructure, the technical infrastructure for the beast system that will come soon. Now, we do have time. We have a little time. But in the midst of this, it's time for us to come under the guidance and hedge of the Almighty. Because why? Our God is allowing them to cut loose. Not only to destroy themselves, but as an amendment to destroy all those who refuse to come back to the Almighty.
That's right.
All right? Now, speaking of that, before I open up the lines, Elder Lawyer, I need to talk to you, you brothers and sisters. If you think we talking about something tonight, let me tell you, you must be in the next Hebrew and Bible Academy, which starts November 10th. And this academy, mark this down, will be off the chains. The theme, the fall of the last empire. It's about time that we go all the way back, Elder Lawyer, to those original prophecies and quantify those and put it right out there. And not only are we going to teach this in the academy, once we teach it, all the churches throughout the earth will have the information which we're teaching to stay on point with the path to the mark. What comes next is what the world wants to know. And it's not just Israelites. Gentiles are confused to what's going on also. The theme, hey, and we run into this thing right up to so-called election time. The fall of the last empire. What will we be diving into? Election outcomes, war in the Middle East, hurricanes, earthquakes, truck driver strikes, everything you're seeing? There's a purpose behind it all. It's to bring the world's citizens at their knees to be in total dependence of your masters. That's what it's about. Is World War III impending? How will this impact all of us? Good question. Right? Be there, the fall of the last empire in the next academy. Man, let me tell you, let me just give you some of these lessons that we'll be talking about, that we'll be going into. We're going to have a brand new final, the path to the mark. Everything to look for when they administer the mark of the beast. Everything as far as technology and the fact that they're going to force everyone into a corner to make a decision like the dry run during the vaccination campaigns. Everybody's going to be forced into a corner to make a decision. The path of the mark. Check out this lesson. The return of the hidden gods. Folks, the gods of the Gentiles are the fallen ones. And guess what? They exist. They had an origin, a primal origin in heaven. They had an origin in heaven initially. They're the gods or the princes over all governments. That's right. And they have a spirit within the wars that are going on with all the military, leading them into the valley of Jehoshaphat before they're judged. The return of the hidden gods. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go into the history of the Sumerian gods after the flood. The gods that raised Nimrod and that was worshipped by the Gentiles. And we're going to show you how they're still being worshipped through mainstream religion till this day. Daniel 7, the fall of America. And when we go into the fall of America, we're going to also we're going to stay with Rome. We're going to highlight this time, instead of going through all four beasts, we're going to highlight Rome, and we're going to parallel Rome and the fall of Rome. What was going on geopolitically there? The degradation of their nation, the sexual perversions which led to Rome toppling. And folks, when you see where America is in comparison to Rome, you'll know that America only have a few years left as we knew her. The fall of the last empire. That's the theme for the next Hebrew and Bible Academy. Brothers and sisters, if you have never been a part of an academy, hey, and if you never join another one again, this is the one you want to be a part of. I'm going to tell you that right now. The fall of the last empire. As you can see, the fire is behind the Roman capital and the Statue of Liberty. What is the relation to the two? Well, that and more you'll experience in the next academy. Folks, what we got to do is make sure we follow these commandments, stay on code with one another, and guess what? As long as the Most High give us breath, we'll be prophesying the prophecies from this book. We were born for this moment. You were born for this moment. You were born to see what the prophets longed to see. The fall of this world and the rise of God's promised people, the children of Israel. And he's doing this for Abraham's sake. He says, for Abraham's sake, the faithful Abraham, I will fulfill the prophecies in his children, and they will see Zion. They will see Zion. That's us. That is us. All right. With that, Elder Lawyer, you got anything to say before? Hey, historytimes.org. Historytimes.org. Okay. Now, before I go over, like I told y'all, they're doing everything to try to slow up the finances of helping the church because we have so much to do. Out of nowhere, they gave us, with no explanation, just stopped us from being able to use Cash App. I'm not going to fight that. I thank you for all your support, but there's other ways you can continue to donate and support the church, whether it's Cash App or not, okay? All right. I wanted to put this out there that we also currently, if you want to support these weekly broadcasts, which does so much into what? Strengthening your walk, your journey in this truth. We have a Venmo for those who used to use Cash App until we get that together, if that ever comes together. We do have Venmo for those who would like to just set up a Venmo account and send the same way as if you had Cash App. You can sign to pay to a person straight like you do with Cash App. We're under Gathering of Christ at Gathering of Christ 144. If it's for the broadcast, just say it's for the weekly broadcast offerings for the elders for, putting the lessons together during the week. You can use this Venmo to do just that, okay? Also, Hebrew and Bible Academy, historytimes.org. You can go to historytimes.org to enroll. The academy starts October 10th, the fall of the last empire. I wanted to put that out there for you. All right. Now, before we open it up, because I would like to hear what you all have to say real quick. Also, let me pull this up here. You can also go to visit our page, because if something go down online or whatever the case is, this is our own page, where if no matter YouTube or whatever the case is, you can always contact us through our page, gatheringofchrist.org. Okay. You can always go here. This is our personal page. We built the page. Okay. And it's for Israelites, Gentiles alike, anyone who's in Christ. You're part of our family. We're not into something where it's about Israelites and Gentiles on the outside. No. You can't have an empire ruled by Christ leaving out people. Okay? And we're here for all who believe in Christ. All right? So you can always go to gatheringofchrist.org if you want to support the church and hit donate. Once you hit donate, here are all your options. You can do credit card, you can do PayPal, Venmo, or even Zelle. Or if people still do snail mail, check a money order right there, and you can always just click the button and put in your details. It's all privacy protected. Put in the amount you want to help the church with. If it's the online class, you can always you can put my name there for the online class if that's what you're doing it for, and put a comment your name and whatever you like to put in the comment, and we'll get that, and we'll thank you for all you do to support the church. Or if it's for anything else, bereavement funds, whether it be disaster relief like what just happened, you just put it right here and it'll go to its proper, it would be administered to its proper place based on how you would like the money to go. Okay? We do not spend money that isn't sent directly to us. The money goes to the church. Okay? I wanted to emphasize that. All right? Now, real quick, let's open up the lines. 1 second. 515-605-9327. Oh, yeah. I made a mistake here. November 10th. I keep saying October. I don't know why. Oh, maybe because I got, my blessed day comes up the 8th. So I have October on the mind. November 10th. November 10th. I'm sorry about that. November 10th. I got a blessed day coming up, October 8th. Okay, a blessed day. November 10th is when the next academy starts. November 10th, I would like to emphasize. Okay? All right. Let's go to the phone. Let's go there real quick. All right. And yes, sister, I heard the song, and I'm going to be playing the song soon, so don't worry about it. To Zion, Off the Chains. I'll be playing it quite soon. I'm keeping it for my listening pleasure. All right, Elder Lawyer, let's open up the lines real quick. We're going to have an early night tonight. I went straight to the point, got it out there.
Yes, sir.
And now we must do what we need to do to stay under God's hedge while he sends judgment. All right? You don't want to miss that academy, the fall of the last empire. Folks, guess what? They don't care about this empire anymore. Why do you think they opened the doors and flooded the country with foreigners? It's over. And all the other, they were told, come here and grab what's ever left so that they can put America in debt to the point where America will never recover. Even though our foreparents fought in wars and all of that. See? They say, no, foreigners come over here, take all the social money that's left, take all the money that's in that would sustain the people who actually fought for the country, rob Medicare and all these others, so there's nothing left in the treasury. And at that point, they'll be able to go into their Marxist plan, their socialist plan, having all people. Hold on, let me see. Having most people under what? Under a permanent stipend.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's going. A permanent, y'all talking about stimulus check. But guess what, folks? It's going to be a permanent stipend. Welfare for all. Health care for all with no chance of leaving your current status. That's the plan. But they have to do what? They have to totally bankrupt the whole treasury of the United States. That's where we are. And folks, hey, don't be surprised they try to finesse things by pulling the trigger on the war early. If they pull the trigger on the war early, they can claim, well, no one can transfer power midstream through a war. And they'll put in the person no one knows and no one's voted for from East India. Okay? Don't be surprised if that happened. Now, if that happened, that's a game changer. Okay? Because if they try to finesse this election like the last one was finessed, look for the union to split in half. Okay? Mm-hmm. Look for Trump to be president of those who believe he won the election. Okay? So he'll be the president of that part of the union, and whoever the corporations put in on the Demonut side, they'll be the president of this side of the union. And that will be the end of the United States. See? A lot of people don't even understand the United States is actually a compilation or a union of many states. Okay, originally there was only a few. So it wouldn't change anything as far as they're concerned if they were to dissolve it and split it up like it was before they united the states. Okay? So if they try to finesse this one and have the nut jobs they have in power that's already destroying things stay in power, look for the United States to dissolve into separate unions. Mm-hmm. All right? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we good. All right. Yes, we have. Thank you, Elder. Elder Ramar. Thank you. Man, you should see the moccasin shoes that REI and his wife, their family made and sent. Female and male shoes. Did you get any?
No, sir, not yet. Oh, hopefully on the way.
Man, listen. I can't believe, man, Israel is doing it big time. I'll be showing them I'll be showing them this Friday. Man, these shoes are man, you should see the packaging of these shoes. Man, off the chains. But anyway.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming out of Israel, coming out of this ministry. Elder Ramar has his athletic line coming forward. As you mentioned, Elder REI, he got the moccasin shoes coming. And also, I just want to mention this real quick in relation to the academy. The lesson for this Sunday, I think, is very fitting for everything we see going on in the earth right now. And there's no way we could have planned it like this. But the topic of discussion is making it through Jacob's trouble. And like I mentioned, there's no possible way from the time that we started the academy, because usually we come up with a full list of what we're going to cover before the academy even starts. And it just so happens that in the midst of all of what we see going on in the earth, we decided in week number 10 to cover making it through Jacob's trouble.
There's no coincidences.
Gone. So with that lesson, I'm pretty sure many of you are asking yourself the question, with everything that's taken place prophetically, where do we fall in all of this? What is our place in all of this? And believe it or not, all of what we see going on in the earth is based upon and surrounding a specific people known as the children of Israel, also known as the children of Jacob. And the Bible speaks of a time called Jacob's trouble, a time which will be none like any other time on the face of the earth, a time of great tribulation, a time of great suffering, persecution, but also a time of glory, because we're going to get an opportunity to see the work of God firsthand. So with all this taking place, the earthquakes, what are people to do when we see earthquakes that we don't have any emergency shelters to house ourselves in the midst of an earthquake? We don't have a military to fight for us in the midst of wars and the rumors of wars. We don't have any hospitals or laboratories to create our own medicines in the time of pestilence and sickness and disease. So the question is, what are we to do in these times? And when we go throughout the scriptures, whether it's Christ, whether it's Ezra, whether it's Isaiah or the other prophets, none of the prophets ever give what's to come or the signs to look for or the plagues that are going to pursue the earth without afterwards giving solution. And in the lesson, making it through Jacob's trouble, not only are we going to give the signs, we're also going to provide the solution. So look forward to that this Sunday, making it through Jacob's trouble in the Hebrew and Bible Academy.
Oh, yeah. I'm chopping at the bit for that one, young man.
Yes, sir.
Making it through Jacob's trouble, boy. And it tell you, man, the Most High says the Gentiles are going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. All the Gentiles are going to look at it and be like, man, I knew something was about them, deep about them. But man, these are actually God's people. These are the people that no one thought existed. That people were asking, well, where did they go? I mean, you got to think about how crazy that is, Elder. That we living in a world right now where everyone has a Bible, but no one know who the children of Israel are.
Right.
You got China. Right. You got churches. You got I see the Chinese Christian church where just Chinese people go. All these people believe in Christ with the Bible and had no idea who the people, that book that strengthened their faith, they had no idea that they serve these people in the community every day. It's going to shock them when it all come into sight. And all the Gentiles will know at once. These were God's people. And it said the Gentiles are going to be looking at it like the strangeness of their salvation is like. So it wasn't just about their Christ. It was about them the whole time. So how could we have believed in their Christ, but yet deny or debase Christ's people? I mean, hey, that brings a whole nother conversation to believing in Christ. How can you claim to believe in him, but yet you forget his people? He came for his people. 515-605-9327. And a matter of fact, let me put the phone number, just for the sake of the phone number, on the screen for those who would like to call in. 515-605-9327. All right, what Elder Lloyd, I'm gonna call through this line here so you don't have to worry about that.
Yes, sir.
Chime in. If you want to chime on in here.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Unmuted.
All right. Thank you, Elder Ramar. Kayem, you've been waiting for a while. Let's jump right in. We have an early show tonight. I'm going to get through these calls and then we'll wish you all Godspeed until Friday. And listen, some guy came on, I think last year, Elder Lawyer, and was saying to come to Israel. I'm like, man, listen, don't try to pull us into this mess. All right, we'll go into Israel when our Savior guide us into Israel. Okay?
Right, right. And definitely on that point, we got to be mindful, especially some of the new brothers and sisters and others as well, regardless of how long you've been following us. You have to be very careful, especially in times like this, with people trying to make merchandise of you. Either people who claim to be in the faith or people who are on the outside of the faith who are going to try to sell you things or draw you into other places to use you and drain you. And once they're finished with you, pretty much just toss you to the side and leave you out there without any guidance, without any leadership. Definitely, you have to be careful with that in this time.
Yeah. What they'll do is, just like, listen, that girl over there, she's resourceful with her hustle. That's why she called Polly Hustle. I'm going to tell you this right now. She'll tell people we was ace boom coon. I don't know that woman like that. Okay? I'm like, listen, I don't know this woman. So y'all got to be very careful. They'll try to use a loose relation. Oh, yeah, I told him. I came up with the calendar. Straight liar. Okay? And then what they'll do is they'll find a mark, someone older. Usually the mark is older women. You better hurry up. I'm telling you, the prophecies is here. I try to warn and all this other crap. And next thing you know, they'll run your pockets. Then you notice these people who claim like her that come over there that every time she's doing a video it's with another person. A new mark. And guess what? You never see a church together being led with all the people that was one mark at a time. They're all separate, trying to survive, listening to her madness. And next thing you know, she'll get them a place, and then she disappears somewhere. No one knows where she lives or where she is. So I'm telling you. But let me tell you, anyone that go over there now in the midst of this war, maybe that's where they that's their choice. Let me put it that way. We tried to warn people.
Gone.
That's it. So, hey, you can listen to these people if you want. Hey, there's no church over there and there's no people. It's all different type of doctrines. A bunch of hot mess. Okay, that's what it is. Cayenne.
Yes, sir.
Shalom.
Double honors to you, sir. Shalom, Elder. Double honors to all the elders and the leadership. Elder Dash, she's still going. And somebody account for Sister Fleet. Make sure she's still in the United States. But Elder, I think what is so special about the Most High and how he brought forth this awakening and brought his will and a son true doctrine to this church. Elder, the awakening started when this you as our leader and our leaders brought forth the name of the Most High. And that's when the awakening started and the time was ticking. So as I look back and I look at a lot of different camps and a lot of different churches, they was calling Magog and Gog Ukraine and the Russia war. Now they have to eat what they spewed out. And, the lies are being revealed, Elder, and that's a blessing of this church because, we hear Yeshua calling us. We hear his call because we have you great watchmen that are leading the charge for us, and we have to get behind y'all 100%. That's why we have to get into the academy. And, Elder, just one quick scripture. This is Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. So everything that this church is bringing forth is nothing but the truth. And pride comes before a fall. So everybody that's not getting on board, then there's nothing but pride. Whether you're in Islam, Egyptology, spiritual, Buddhism, Hinduism, even the modern day church. Elder, if they're not going to get aboard to this and hearing the call and say, you know what, I got to read these scriptures as Christ said, as it is written. And that pride is going to lead to their fall. And the water, sir.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate you. All praises be to the Most High.
Yes, sir. The water.
Okay, let's go to the next call. That would be Shade. Shade has a comment.
I'm gonna step away for a hot second.
Okay. Shade has a comment. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, brother. How you doing, Elder?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. I'm glad I was able to get in this evening. You know what? I just had a comment. I called it, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I had got a hold of you, and I think like the second time, and we had talked a little bit. And I live in California. I teach out here, and man, it's just been a blessing because, you know, through COVID, you know, you had so many people who were, you know, looking down on you, treating you like, you know, I work in the public school district, so, you know, treating you up like you have the, you know, scarlet letter. You know, they're just like, just amazed, like, on how people like us, you know, rejected the quote unquote shot.
The jab.
And now, yeah, the jab. And now I'm looking at a lot of people who are damaged because of that. Not just COVID, but a lot of people who are really now are starting to get stressed out and depressed because they've been dependent on the leadership of this state and the leadership of this country, and it's failed them. And, you know, because they've been leaning on man and not been leaning on the Most High.
Okay.
And it's just reassuring to see how our people now, and you can see it, our people now are starting to gain that confidence and seeing things and not being shaken like the other nations are.
Let me ask you this, because usually I'm inquisitive. I'm curious to know whether or not some of these people who were stomping hard for that shot, whether now that they realize, you know, the gravity of that choice. Are any of them realizing or regretting that choice that you could actually point to? That's the same people who was looking down on you, and the only thing you wanted to do is say, well, listen, I'm good. My body is straight the way it is. Why come against me for a choice I'm making? If you are protected, what do you worry about me for? So that's what made no sense. If you listen, leave me alone. Only thing you chose to do is just deal with the body the Most High gave you without fear. But do you see any regrets with people who made that choice?
Well, I'll tell you this. You know, the old adage, you know, not making a choice is a choice. So I see people now, and they are quiet as a mouse. I'm talking about these are the people that were wearing their masks and we were required to wear a mask in the classroom for a little bit with that nonsense. That was struck down. And then they were trying to make you wear masks everywhere. Now, California is off the hook, but they were trying to make you wear masks everywhere. It didn't make sense. So during that time, you know, you work for the school district. They couldn't force you to take the jab, right? So what they did was try to ostracize you. So once a week, we had to go. Those of us, it was a couple of people that didn't take the jab had to go get tested every week.
Listen,
so I went into the principal's office. I'm upset because I missed a date or whatever. Oh, yeah, and they're calling you. Secretary's calling me and stuff. So I'm like, wait a minute. I talked to my principal. I'm like, man, you guys are hounding about taking the test. I said, do you guys know the evidence of this? Like, everybody, if I get COVID and somebody else that has the COVID shot gets it as well, gets the jab, they're spreading it just like everyone else. So it's got to be all or nothing. Either we all get tested or nobody gets tested. What's going on? And did you know my principal goes, she looked at me, she goes, you know what? I know it don't make sense, but we're just following state guidelines. I'm like, and she told me that privately, like, you know what? I know it's dumb. Basically, I know it's dumb. It don't make sense, but we're just going along with it.
But
I'm like, wow.
I tell you, that's a shame. And guess what? That's going to mean their own demise, because this is what they're going to do during the mark of the beast, saying they're just going along with it. When are you going to stand for what's right? Now, here's the next thing, right? First of all, they wouldn't have been putting nothing up my nose. Talking about a test. No, I'm good. Do whatever y'all gotta do. No. Because then if they would have fired you, because there's nothing in your agreement for employment that says that you have to go under some medical experiment, in the midst of an emergency. Nothing you signed on that would give your body over to your employer. So I would have let them fire me, and I'd have sued them into forever. And that's what people don't know. So believe it or not, they settled with millions upon millions of dollars. Even the firemen in New York, all these people end up getting money and all that because they couldn't fire you based on a medical decision. I would have said, man, no, you're not sticking up. How do I know what's in what you're sticking in my nose? No. Well, you need to be tested. We need to know. How do you know when they say you could be walking around A positive? That means with no symptoms. This is utterly ridiculous. No, you're not sticking nothing in my nose.
No sense.
Yeah, I said no.
What I started doing was, they started doing the swab in the nose. So what I started doing was getting a swab, and you go to, they have like these little cubicles where you go and you do a.
Hold on. Listen. What I don't want you to do is compromise yourself here. So don't talk about what you did because you ain't. No. I'm just saying. I'm trying. Listen, brother. I'm trying to lean off of this. There's a reason for it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
But don't forget, pick up this Friday on Patreon. You can let me know what you was doing. And it's all good.
Okay. All right, brother. Yeah, but a lot of people were. I see a lot of people now. I definitely have regretted making that decision and other decisions as well. I think a lot of people are left in limbo because they don't know what to believe and they have no foundation on anything. And I can see them. They look not confused, but they look unsure. They don't know what's going on. They don't know. There's so many things happening, from the wars, outside of the nation, to the political craziness that's going on here. And then California is one of the worst states. I'm looking right now. They sent the ballot here. They're still trying to vote on craziness, here. And so there's so many things going on that I think people are just overwhelmed.
Well, hey, brother, when they get overwhelmed, just take a napkin and get with an ink pen and you write A Gathering 144 YouTube. Look into this and maybe, maybe you'll see some light at the end of the tunnel. All right? Thank you, my brother.
Hey, listen. All right, my brother.
All right, shalom. Good speaking to you. And don't forget, Shade, I didn't forget you because we need some male teachers, so I'm gonna reach out to you.
Hey, listen, as long as the Most High give me breath, man, I'm here, all right? Ain't going nowhere. I'm here, brother.
Thank you, sir. All right, bless you.
All right.
He sound like Brother Trent. I guess is that California.
Yeah.
That California accent, probably.
Right.
All right. Trish has a comment and or question. Yes, Trish.
Shalom, Elder. I just wanted to let you know how amazing everything you teach, and I know it's all the Most High, but Elder, since I've been in this truth, I've been following you guys for just a couple of years, up under my brother who got me into the truth. Elder, everything you teach, it makes sense. Like, I've been thinking about this all my life. Like, what does the Bible mean? I have a Christian background, my grandparents, all that good stuff. But I was raised Christian, and it didn't make sense. Nothing in the Bible really made sense to me as it was being taught to me. And I left the Christian church years ago. I'm 48 now, and up until just a couple of years ago, it didn't make sense. And now everything makes sense. Who I am, who we are as a people, what the Bible is, what it means. Everything it just makes sense now, you know. And I just want to thank you for just putting it out there, and you trying to teach our people, letting us know what's going on, because it's really a lot of confusion and chaos out here, and just people not paying attention to what's really going on. And I mean, man, I don't know what I'd be doing right now without you guys. And I just want to say thank you. And man, may the Most High keep blessing GLCC. I did have a quick question for Elder Lawyer and yourself. I'm taking my daughter out of the school system. I'm going to be homeschooling her.
Good.
And I just wanted to know, is there any way that, because once November, we're going to be in the academy for November 10th. She's going to be sitting right beside me. We're going to do this together. I've been in a couple of academies previous, but I'm not in this current one, but I guarantee I'm going to be in the next one. I'm not missing this for the world. So I just wanted to know, do we have any teachers? Do we have a homeschooling or any of the teachers that are together, or parents that have a, you know, something that they do for their children? Because she's interested and she wants to learn more about everything about Ahia and Shia. She wants to learn that part of it.
Okay.
She sits in class now and she's like, she don't like science because she knows the planets aren't real, and she's like, they don't know what they're talking about and all that good stuff, because she knows that what they're teaching isn't a real teaching, and she doesn't want to learn that anymore. So I want to, you know, I want to give her what she's looking for, and I want to give her what she deserves to learn, and that's the truth.
Well, sister, we are looking into that. So just keep your ear to the ground so that we could do something for our children. But in the meantime, you can just go online and look at your state. You look at your state when it comes to homeschooling. All right. There's Agora homeschooling and others where the finances that usually go towards your state or city or local can be utilized for the online teaching. And at least you don't have to worry about the indoctrination part of things. Now, usually when it comes to the medical side, this church is a naturalist type of church where we just deal with what God in Christ says, same as the Amish. When it comes to medical, we're very we are exempt when it comes to anything medical and anything foreign going into our body. A matter of fact, that's against our religion. Okay. Now we have the right, we have a right, a sovereign right to our temple, not to put anything foreign into it. So even when it comes to our children, that's our stance, and it's to be respected. And we use exemptions for that. So usually just go online, find yourself a homeschool, and they have teachers available that are pretty good already out there. And don't try to listen. If you're homeschool, you're not threatening anyone with catching something or anything like that. So understand. Just focus on, protecting your daughter, giving her the word of the Most High. Pray with your daughter, and above all, keep her chaste. And then on top of that, make sure that you have your exemptions in place, so that no one is disturbing you, trying to interfere with you medically or your daughter medically. Okay?
Okay. Got it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. In the bar. Yakira has a question.
Hello, Elder Record. I believe this is not the first time I've ever been on the calls, but I thank you all for everything you do and for the truth. There's no other way. GOCC is the only way. Okay, sent by the Most High. You are our angels, our teachers, our prophets. And what I was calling for, I have a question. I was going to sponsor one of the ladies on the, on
the Academy.
The broadcast, the Academy. Well, I want her. I need her email, Yolanda Kenny. I told her I was going to sponsor her. Sorry about that. Yeah, I told her I was going to sponsor her. I need her email address.
Okay, well, you put it out there for her, so I'm sure she'll get it to you. Because I don't have her information in particular. But once you get her email and name, there's an option under the enrollment for sponsor. If you would like to sponsor someone, just put her name and email there, and all the welcome packet will go to her. Okay.
Okay, so just all I have to do is put her name there then.
No, but we need her email so that we can send the details to her.
Oh, okay then. Okay. Well, when I pull it up, her name, will her email come up? That's what I'm asking.
No, you have to input that. So what I'm saying is, I don't know her email. Whoever you're talking about, you have to get the email from her.
Okay, get it from her. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I was wanting to know.
Yeah.
But how do I go about getting her email? That's another thing I need to know.
How did you find out about her?
I had said that I was going to respond on the broadcast. I said I was going to sponsor someone for the upcoming Academy, and she was saying that she would like to be in the Academy. She wanted to pay in 3 payments, and I know it's 2 payments.
No, I'm asking.
I told her.
I'm asking you where in the comment section.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's in the comment section, just reach out to the sister in the comment section.
Oh, okay.
And just say, well, if just find a way in which she could reach you. Whether or not you want to put your phone number out there, I don't know. It's up to you, and your email to have her to email you, and then take it from there.
Oh, okay. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Sorry, but it's been so complicated. I'm sorry about that.
All right, Yolanda. Yolanda, do me a favor, Yolanda Kenny. Send your phone number, text your phone number to 215-253-4448. Okay? Yolanda, you text your email to that particular number, 215-253-4448, and I'll give it to the sister.
Thank you so much, Elder.
You're welcome, sister. Stay on the line, sister, and I'll make sure I get the email to you. Don't go anywhere. All right, thank you.
Okay, the water.
He in the bar. Brianna has a comment. Such nice people out there.
Elder.
Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. My name's Brianna. I'm new. My mom keeps sending me to you all's page. I'm very grateful for her. Because I've been searching, and not so much searching. I've always had a following to want to follow Christ, but Christianity and the preachers, I've realized they don't teach the whole truth. And so because I've been looking for the whole truth and things that resonate with me, I've kind of just took a backing. So I just want to firstly thank you all for this message, because I don't know how you all feel about dreams.
About what?
I ask a question about how do you all feel about dreams?
No. Slow up. How do we feel about what?
Dreams, like dreams that the Lord may give someone.
I don't understand. So you don't know how we feel about dreams?
No, sir. I haven't actually watched you all, but this podcast tonight is my mom sent it to me.
Okay.
And so I wanted to ask you. Yes, sir. But what? So I was calling to ask that. I'm sorry. I won't cut you off.
There's a delay between us two. It's like that with Blog Talk. What in particular about the dreams from your part that you would like to talk to me about?
So last year I had 3 stories of the dreams, and they were concerning the end time. And I couldn't share them with no one. I shared them with my mom because I was afraid people would think I was crazy. And then recently this podcast came, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she sent me here and said, you'll get some answers And that's what I was concerned about, because I don't be knowing what to do with the things that the Lord put on me, because I'm just not where I should be spiritually, if that makes sense. I think I spend more time running away from the Lord than sitting and trying to figure out what He would have me do with my life.
Okay, let's reel it back. How old are you?
32.
32. All right, you said for the last couple of years you've been having dreams. About what?
The end times. Last year, around the summer, June.
Like, don't give me anything general, okay?
I won't. I can give you the dream fully because I remember them.
Just give me one in particular, what you were shown in one dream.
So in one dream, we was packed in the church, and the church was packed from the soul to the ceiling. And I remember a preacher saying, "Be quiet because they'll find us, they'll find us." And then you couldn't see in the outside of the church. It looked like the church was covered, but we could see on the outside, and we seen polices and people that were in armed guards walking up and down the street carting people. And in the dream, I could feel panic and fear. Like I could feel as if I was living it. And I remember people being afraid, even though they was in this church, that if they were being hurt, the people who were outside was going to come in and get them. And that was one of the dreams.
Okay.
That was the second dream because I had one after.
Okay, let's deal with that one. You had a dream that you were in a church, held up, told to be quiet, or the military could come against you, right? Or come grab you.
Yes, sir.
In fear. Okay. Now, let me read this real quick. Right? Joel, the second chapter, right? The 28th verse. It reads this. Elder Lawyer, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me the dreams out of the Apocrypha too, real quick, if you may. But I'm going to show you where there should be a balance, sister. All right? Because when you say, well, I don't know how you see dreams in particular, right? When you're talking to me.
Yeah.
All right? Let me tell you, I have had dreams of certain things. People around me let me know when they have dreams concerning certain things, right? So why am I saying this? Joel, the second chapter states, "It shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy." Now, what type of prophesy? You're not going to be prophets. You're not going to be in position of what we're doing. But it says, "Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit." Right? So when you look at this, based on the end times, the Most High will be giving people snapshots into what's happening prophetically. Right? What could happen in the future. But here it is. Here's the balancing act with receiving that. It's what you do with it. Right? Like, now, what you do with it, because you don't want to lean more so on your dreams than what the Most High is showing you according to the Bible, and what to do according to what He's showing you. Right? If you know all these things are coming, then what are you to do to get your life right before that moment? That's number one. Right? So I'm going to show you the danger in how Christians have been using this scripture. They've been using this scripture to violate the understanding of prophecy. Prophecy isn't supposed to be, they'll use this and say, well, okay, and have people come to their church and pay them to break down their dreams and tell them, I have a vision for you next year or next week. When the prophets were generally receiving visions and understanding for the whole. It wasn't like a necromancer or a palm reader. And that's where they go off, where they're focusing more on their gift to break down dreams than to actually give the message to what the Most High was showing them. right? So when we talk about dreams, the Bible tells you how to deal with them, right? So listen to this scripture real quick. Elder Lawyer, chapter and verse real quick. Let me grab that.
Yes, sir. Sirach 34, verse 1.
Sirach in the Apocrypha. Listen to this, sister, because the Christian churches don't teach out of the Apocrypha. They're in serious error by not doing so, okay? Because this questions can be answered. Sirach chapter, Elder Lawyer?
Chapter 34, verse number 1.
Listen to this, sister, okay?
Okay.
All right.
The hopes of a man void of understanding.
Hold up, Elder Lawyer. Hold up 1 second. Let me make sure they can see it out there.
Yes, sir.
34 and 1. All right? Read it.
The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools.
The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false. Right? That's if a person don't have the proper framework when it comes to the doctrine of the Bible. The hopes of a man vain of understanding are vain and false. And it says dreams lift up fools. Now, not that dreams cannot be sent by the Most High, and I'm going to show you how to distinguish between the two. All right? Because the Most High gave Joseph the prophecies to be able to not just dream about him being raised one day to save God's people in the earth, but to also save the earth from a famine. That was Joseph, the son of Jacob. So the vision wasn't for him in particular more so than it was the will of the Most High prophetically. Right? So let's read this now, because we all get dreams and visions, believe it or not. Read the second verse.
Done. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth a shadow, and followeth after the wind.
He that regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth a shadow. Now you can see a shadow, it's there, right? Same as a dream.
Yeah.
You see it. But is it really there? Right? Yeah. And it says, and follow the wind. You can feel the wind, but can you chase the wind? Do you know which way it's going?
No.
Yeah, so because of this, you have to deal with the dream according to how God would say, understand it. What is it for? Why was it sent? To understand, because it can drive you to the left side. You can chase the wind and try to follow it, but you're going to get lost somewhere because you can't catch wind. That's a dream too. Read.
Read. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face.
It's the likeness like a face to the face. Even when you look in a mirror, right? That's you in the mirror, right? But is that you in the mirror?
No.
It's a reflection, right?
Yes.
So now let's quantify this, because the Most High has given us, because dreams are strong. They have impact. And a matter of fact, let me tell you, many times you're in a dream and it's so real that you know that whatever happened there is existing, but it's in a different realm. You and you wake up affected by that dream. Right?
Yes.
So now, we know dreams are real, but how do you deal with those? 4. Read.
Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed?
Because, check it out. That's how we have to weigh it. Because sometimes we have dreams that are unclean. We have desires in us that leads to us doing something in the dream that we know isn't from the Most High, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're putting everything in its proper place. Because your subconscious, don't forget, in our spirit, there's what? And in our bodies, there's the malignant root. The malignant root leans towards negative. So that's in our thoughts also. And that pops up in dreams. So of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? Read.
And from the thing which is false, what truth can come?
Something that's not true because you're asleep while it's happening. What truth can come? Now, check out the next part of why the Most High give us wisdom concerning dreams. Because they are a very strong part of our existence. Check out what the Most High shows with the wisdom of the dreams. In the 5th verse. Check this out.
Divinations.
Divinations. That's people divining the future. Read.
And soothsayings.
Like you see people in church doing, talking about, I got a message for you. I got a calling on you. God gonna have something great for you next year. I see a husband or wife in your future. That person is out of their mind. But it says divinations, soothsayings, which is you get caught up in dreams so much that what? You start telling the future. Read.
And dreams are vain.
They are vain because you received them while you were asleep. Read.
And the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail.
Read.
6. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation.
If they be not sent by the Most High when you receive them. Read.
If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them.
Don't think too long on them. Now the question is, how do one know if that dream was sent by the Most High? Number one, the Most High have never tempted man to do evil. No sin can be in the thoughts of when the Most High sends something. Next, if they be not sent by the Most High. Usually when the Most High sent Daniel, the prophet received his visions while asleep. It was concerning empires that would actually unfold in the earth prophetically. So if I'm sent a dream that I know is sent by the Most High, I should be able to go somewhere in the Bible and see where it was shown to the prophets to understand what the message is. You understand? Like I can give you an example, right? The example I can give you, just say, here's an example. Let me use your thing for an example. Man, I had a dream. Man, I woke up in a cold sweat and I was in a church and there was army outside and all that. Man, oh my goodness. And people told me to be quiet or something could happen. And I know I was up in the church. The way I would look at it is where the Bible states what? When you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee in the wilderness, right? So if I receive that particular dream, knowing that the armies are sent as a part of Jacob's trouble, I know if the Most High showed me that the night before class, I'm gonna go into this chapter, I'm gonna break this down. According to the prophecies, the Most High probably want people to understand what to do before the armies come. So I'm going to teach the Bible. I'm going to teach the Bible according to that. I'm not going to tell anybody that this is what I dreamt. This is what the Most High want us to prepare ourselves for. You understand?
I do. And I think that's the problem, that I'm not in the Word of God like I should. And the visions or the three that I had came, Elder, and I didn't know what to do with it. And again, because I go to church and don't go to church because I can't get a grip of the actual truth. I just know nothing is right anymore.
Well, sister, listen.
I feel like I myself is in a wilderness.
This is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to feel that something is wrong with you because you are receiving dreams. But the whole deal is you have to weigh that and measure that with the word of the Almighty. And this is why though. Because eventually you're going to have to wake up. You have to wake up, and the more you understand these prophecies, check out what it says with the next verse, sister. The Bible can say it better than I can. Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir.
I need you to read the 6th verse again.
Verse 6. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them.
Read.
For dreams have deceived many.
See? Because if the enemy understand that you lean more so on your dreams, and you're not weighing that with the word of the Most High, the enemy will send you a true vision to make you trust in that more so than reading the word. He'll give you something that's true to the point where you'll just lean on yourself. So that's why it says, for many dreams have deceived many. Read.
And they have failed that put their trust in them.
Because at the end of the day, we must put our trust in the Almighty and check ourselves, even with the visions that come into our minds. Because in us is the malignant root that's contrary to our bodies, our minds, that's also within these dreams. So it says, for dreams have deceived many. So you have to be careful. You can't be thinking on these dreams too long, because you'll begin to believe them and follow them. And not only that, fear will set in with you, in you, through believing them. And the Most High never gave us the spirit of fear.
Elder, you have helped me out so much, because if you don't mind, I shared a last dream was God's coming in looking for me, and I was hiding, and they asked me who I served, and I got shot in the head. And I don't want to cry on this phone, but
yeah, but I'm helping you because now you're being tormented in your dreams, right? So you're being tormented. That's why I tell you in Baruch that what? It'll be the attack of the specters and shadeems. It's demons that try to put you in fear. Let me tell you, I'm not worried about that, because if you're courageous, who you are in your dreams when it happens is who you'll be when you wake up. So ain't nothing gonna scare me while I'm asleep, and ain't nothing gonna scare me awake. Okay, so you gotta learn, sister. You have to understand how to tell the devil to get behind you. Okay, so the whole thing is, if you're fearful, that comes out in your dreams. Listen, you can destroy the enemy in either state. Like, get out of my face. I'm not scared of nothing. I'm down with Christ. Get up out of here before we bind you somewhere. So, sister, if you are waking up afraid, that's not the Most High. Okay? That you're being tormented in your dreams. You're being scared in your dreams. Okay? Now, it says...
Yeah, I think that...
Yeah. So what you need to do is read Christ and read the Bible and rebuke all of anything that would put fear in you. Okay? Because, all right? Because Christ, let me tell you, Christ defeats evil in every realm. And guess what? I've been in situations where I'm in a dream. I'm like, okay, something is happening here. But you know what? Hey, I'm gonna win this one. You ain't gonna make me feel a certain type of way. Let's rumble. So hey, and I wake up and I feel fine. No, get out of here. Go somewhere. So, sister, you being tormented in your dreams. All right? And that's listen.
You have helped me out so much.
Thank you.
Because
let me read this.
I was confused.
Let me read this. Let me read it, because this is gonna help you out. Let me read it. So something is waiting for you to listen. You got Freddy Krueger hanging around in your dreams, and we don't do that. We don't duck and hide anywhere. Okay. Let me help you out here. Let me read this real quick. Elder Lawyer, read that for me. Read this. Read the 7th verse.
Yes, sir. I'll read 7 and 8.
Read it.
For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them.
They have failed that put their trust in them. Now check this out. Read.
The law shall be found perfect without lies.
See that? Without lies. The devil is a liar. If you go into the law, you go into Christ, you'll receive the courage to transfer from when you are awake to when you're actually sleeping. And the demons will fear what's with you, what's protecting you. You need the law, you need Christ, you need to strengthen your spirit. If anything, it's showing you how afraid you are.
Yes. Thank you, because that's what it is. Like, it was the end times, and they asked me, who did I serve? And I said, Yeshua, and they killed me. And what it is that I've always been afraid of the end times.
No,
it's always me to my core.
Okay, move that
Yeshua.
Move that Yeshua to the side. Okay? His name is Ahiah. Ahiah in the name of Yeshua. Okay? Who you serve? I serve Ahiah in the name of Yeshua. Kick rocks. Okay? Before you be bound into Hades. Okay? That's what you do. You and your daddy. All right? That's how you do it. Who I serve? I serve Ahiah in the name of Yeshua. Now step off before you get bound, before you get dealt with. Okay, that's how you deal with that. And it says, the law shall be found perfect without lies. Read.
And wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth.
And wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. If anything, sister, it's time for you to build courage in the God you serve, with the Christ you serve. The enemy will choose someone else to mess with. Okay? Ahiah in the name of Yeshua. Take back your power, whether you are walking around, regular, awake, or while sleeping. Okay? So no. Sister, you have to just raise your courage, read the law, read the power of the Almighty. Remember Ahiah's name, and his name is not Yeshua. There was no U sounds. His name is Yeshua. Yeshua with an A. Yeshua. 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 That name alone. Guess what? All demons, all spirits, it doesn't matter. They must fall under obedience. And the Most High revealed his name. And this is why the Gentiles have hid his name from the world. They want you to call him Yeshua, because Jewish people would rather you honor Joshua, who they claim led you over Jordan, than Christ. That's who they really honoring when they say Yeshua. Christ's name wasn't Yeshua. His name is Yeshua, Savior. You got it?
Yes, Elder. Could you say that name one more time so I can try to pronounce it?
Write it down. Pick up your phone. Y-A-S-H-A-Y-A. Yeshua. You got it?
Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Yes,
not I. That's Isaiah with an I sound. That's a different letter. Yeshua. Y-A-S-H-A-Y-A. Yeshua. Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Yeshua. Shah. Yeshaya.
Yeshaya.
Yeah, go. Sister, get in the academy. Elder Lawyer, you can teach her that, right? You on the right path.
I paid for it today.
You're gonna have it all then. You in good shape then. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, can I read this as well?
Hold up. Elder Lawyer want to read something while you're on the phone, all right?
Okay.
What you got, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir. Romans 15:4.
Romans 15:4. Thank you. Hold on.
Yes, sir. I noticed, sister, you mentioned earlier that you haven't been in the Word of God like you should be. And sister, what's happened is that your dreams are calling you back to the Word of God. Simple and plain. You have to get back into the Word. It says here in the book of Romans 15:4.
15:4. Let me get it, Elder Lawyer. Let's read it.
It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So yes, can the Most High guide us, or can the Most High give us insight through dreams? Can the Most High give us insight through visions? Absolutely. But ultimately, we have to wake up and open up the written word, which is the Bible, because it's the written word that's been given for our learning, for our understanding, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. It's through the scriptures that we receive comfort. All of the fear, all of the trauma, all of the frightful things you experience in your dreams, is through the scriptures that you receive comfort from those things. So it's important that as you go through that, or you go through those experiences with your dreams, you open up the Bible when you wake up and you read the scriptures, because the scriptures will give you comfort, it'll show you patience, and it'll give you hope in the salvation that Christ has promised us. That's it on that.
You got that?
Yes, Elder. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna, and
thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I'm sure you're gonna have a good sleep tonight. Don't think on those things. Never think on fear, okay? And you'll be fine. All right. Pray in the name of Yeshua tonight, and ask him to protect you, through the night, and you'll have a good sleep. Shalom.
Yeah. Shalom.
All right. Blessings.
Blessings.
All right, I can only take a few more because I got to get some rest. That took longer than I thought. So we're going to do rapid fire real quick, which means we're going to do 2 minutes per, and I'm not deviating. 2 minutes per call. Tyron has a comment.
Hello?
Yes, Tyron, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Elder Ricard? Yes, I got a question. Once America beginning to fall, I know you were speaking on the portals. So would it be portals in America that the children of Israel we can go through?
There's portals everywhere throughout the earth.
Okay.
There's portals everywhere. There'll be some people traveling, seeing things from the outside, and there'll be others who are pulled through the gates and will be moved into the wilderness.
Okay. So what part of the world you think when we go through the portals, what part of the world you think we'll be going to?
The portals,
once Babylon falls.
The portals are everywhere. Where we'll end up, according to the scriptures, is the wilderness, which is the same place where the 12 pillars are. Where the Mount Sinai is where we'll actually be.
Okay. And that's in Africa, right?
That's not in Africa. That's actually borders Saudi Arabia. Mount Sinai.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
And another thing, could you give me that verse where Christ didn't never stop, where Yeshua didn't never stop doing the sacrifice, but he was doing it in the heavenly realm? Because I wanted to show that verse to someone. If you could find that for me.
All right, say that again.
The verse where Yeshua, he never stopped doing the sacrifice, but he's doing it in the heavenly realm.
Oh, you're talking about in Hebrews where Christ. Let me get it. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Some people be saying like that Christ he don't do the sacrifice no more and stuff like that. And I remember
Well, no.
saying,
well, he is the sacrifice. He shed his blood on the heavenly tables for us. So the scriptures we're talking about in particular you would go to is Hebrews, the 9th chapter, where it was purged with his blood. And then when you go into Hebrews 9, hold on, Hebrews 9, you really start at Hebrews 7, which shows that he became the priest after the order of Melchizedek. That's his priesthood. And when you go all the way to the 9th chapter, it shows him performing not just the priesthood, but being the sacrifice himself before the mercy seat of God, where he performs all of the priestly ordinances from heaven. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're welcome, my brother.
And I got another question. I'm in Florida. I'm in Daytona Beach, and I was wondering. I need to get baptized, man. I need to get in that water, man.
Okay.
And I just, I need to know like where I need to go, because I don't want to go to no other church to get baptized. I want to get baptized by you, and I just need to know somewhere to go. I've been following you for a while.
Okay.
On the internet, so I just need to know where I can go get baptized. I need to get in that water,
Okay, all praises. Well, what I'll do is I'll send your number to Elder Fresnel in Florida. He'll reach out to you.
Yeah, because I met this one guy. He was driving semi trucks, and I met him, and he had a hire on the side of his truck. I'm like, hey, and he was saying he out of Orlando, but I had lost his contact info. My phone messed up and everything. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got you, Tyrone. Be looking for a phone call very soon, okay? Welcome to the fold.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
My brother. All right, shalom.
Shalom. Bless.
Blessings. We have Justin. Okay, rapid fire, 2 minutes per call. Shay has a question.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, Shay. 2 minutes. Talk to us.
Oh, I got you even better than that. I wanted to ask a genuine question, and I hope I don't offend anyone. But I wanted to, if you could help me understand, how are women and men's articles unisex if men and women aren't supposed to wear each other's articles? Can you explain that for me?
I'm not behind the fashions for unisex. I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Right? I mean, whoever behind the fashion is naming something unisex, right? The Bible says a man is not supposed to wear, a woman is not supposed to wear what pertaineth to a man, neither should a man put on a woman's garments, right?
Yeah.
So that's crystal clear. All right?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you an example. Real quick, I'm going to pull somebody up for you, all right?
Okay.
Right? I'm going to pull something up for you real quick. Right here. There's somebody by the name of, right? Let me show you. I'm gonna make it work for you right here. What city and state are you from?
I'm in Mobile, Alabama.
All right, let me show you something real quick. All right, I'm gonna put it on the screen so all can see what that scripture's talking about. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm trying to help you out. So during coronavirus, I don't know if you've seen what they call the Secretary of Health in Pennsylvania. Did you see that?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna help you out with what you're not supposed to do. Real quick. we're gonna bring some understanding here. All right. Give you the spirit of the Almighty on this. All right. All right. Show you how it pops real quick. All right. Right here. All right. All right. On your screen is someone by the name of Rachel Levine.
Mm-hmm.
Department of Health. They had what's going on here all plastered on our screens during the so-called virus. The first openly trans federal official confirmed by Senate. And when you check it out, this guy was, they say woman was born a biological man, with the fists and all here. But what's going on here is when you look at the dress, it's not unisex. This is straight. This is straight female apparel that's going on here.
Okay.
All right. There ain't no unit. So, the Most High ain't the author of confusion, right? A woman.
Yeah.
A woman ain't supposed to wear what's pertaining to a man. Neither should a man put on woman's garments. That's straight. There's no middle ground with what the Most High is saying here. You can't be born a full-fledged man and then put on, you know what I mean, a skirt suit. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Elder, I think I get what you're saying. Like, if something's deemed women's clothing, something's deemed men's clothing, then you can't stray it away. But if it's already lined up to be unisex, then that's different. I get what you're saying.
All right, so let me give you one more so you can really get it understand on either side of things, right? Because what I like is, I like balance. I like to show the either side of this, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want people to think that I'm unfair here, right? Let me give you the other side of this. You know what I mean? Show you how it works. So let me show you where it's at. You know what I mean? These are the rough situations that I've seen happening in North Philadelphia. Let me give it to you the way you see it. I got a few of these, but here it is. This one in particular is a sad situation here. Lord have mercy. I don't know what's going on here. All right. I don't know. Yeah, right. Let me just give you this one. This, all right. Right here. All right, because I like to be, here it is. Let me get it right here. See that? This is the one that I could actually show. And there's some.
There's a delay between the phone and YouTube, but I believe whatever you're putting.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this one up, but I've seen some rougher ones that I just didn't want to, take the show. I didn't want to I didn't want to take the broadcast into the next direction. There was a rough one with a septum ring, with a septum ring and a fitted cap on it. But I'm like I can't.
Yeah.
We can't leave the night like that. So I'm gonna just right here. This you ain't supposed to be doing this. Okay.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay, Elder.
This is one of the more cleaner ones I can find.
That's all I needed. That's it.
Yeah, there it is. Put on a skirt. You know what I mean? Go put on a dress. Lord have mercy. Thank you, Sherry.
Yes, thanks. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, I think I only have one more, and we'll just, I'm sorry, we're late. We passed 10, brothers and sisters, so here's my last call. I have someone been waiting on for about an hour by the name of Beyonce, has a question, okay? So again, I want to make it clear, there is no such thing as unisex. A man, there's men clothes and there's women clothes, all right? And men aren't supposed to be wearing, I be telling these kids and all that, you ain't supposed to be wearing skinny jeans, okay? That's, you know, that's yoga pants for men. All right? Get the Most High in your life. Okay, Beyonce has a question.
Shalom, Elder. Shalom, Elder Lawyer. How you doing?
Shalom, my brother. How are you?
Shalom.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. This is Brother Deontay from the Phoenix Body.
Deontay.
And I had a quick question and comment. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Deontay.
Talk to me.
And had a quick question, comment. You know, double honor to both of you, by the way, and thank you for everything y'all done for us. But wanted to know, Elder, have you been watching the port strike situation at all up along the East Coast? I was hoping you was going to touch on it. Forgive me if you did on the beginning of the broadcast. Maybe you may do that for Patreon this week. But I wanted to see if you had been paying attention to that at all. They went on strike today. That's another October surprise for us. And according to some truth tellers and economists, they saying it's going to cost $5 billion a day. Moving forward, backlog, everything moves. So basically, my question is: this the beginning of a famine, or do you think this is just another drill like the pandemic?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Well, I know that there's a lot of companies that are rerouting to make sure some of the goods that are still available get to its destination. So we're not going to immediately feel what's going on because, right, it's just more so they're moving it through trains under certain circumstances instead of the trucks. So they found a way, a loophole, to where it's not outright panic. But there's still a slowdown that's going to raise prices based on supply and demand. So really, it's another way of gouging people by going up on prices based on scarcity. Right? So the way I'm going about it, we've always told people in the church to make sure you have at least 3 to 6 months dry goods, water stored and everything else in case of an emergency. So in cases like this, instead of going, you can go to the supermarket, but then you begin to use the food that's already stored and replace that with what you would grab from the supermarket. Right now, when I go to the supermarket, I grab extra. I grab, if I'm going there, I'll still grab something extra and make sure I get paper towels, toiletries, all the little small things that I know that'll immediately have where the population will have a run on in case of emergencies, right? But the majority of the people in our church have already been preparing for events such as this. And what this is going to do, and I know the madness they're talking about, what she's talking about, they have this talking points with the Demonuts where she's talking about, I'm coming after the people who, the billionaires, and to make sure that we cut the taxes of the middle class and to make sure we put $4,000 into somebody's pocket. What $4,000? The money you took, giving money to all these different countries and letting immigrants in to make it the prices what they are through inflation. So the whole thing is, they've purposely caused all this inflation, and on top of that, slowing up the resources that would normally flow through the country only adds to the inflation when more things go up, and that's all it is. It's another tax on the people. And that I don't think we're going to see it. Okay. I don't think we're going to see it almost immediately, but I think that once the resources begin to dry up, right, that they have in store right now that's when it's going to be a little, it's going to be alarming. Okay, so I'm looking for the perfect storm up and around the election. Okay, so right now things are going to look normal, but when we get near November, we're going to start to see things going to start looking a little different. Okay, but still, we have time to store up before people make a run on the supermarkets. All right.
Of course, and yeah, the bishop and the officers out here, they got us squared away. We we have our provisions, just making sure that so you're more so saying stay and recycle, or like you just said, use some of our old stuff and recycling with the new stuff.
Exactly.
As we get close to that time. So
exactly.
Okay, kind. The water.
Oh, you're the
water.
We'll
all right, appreciate you, Elder.
Shalom.
Shalom.
There was an Officer Ariel, and he'd been on here for about an hour, so I'm going to move him in the last call. How you doing, Officer Ariel?
Shalom, Elder. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good to hear you, sir. How you doing?
Oh, blessed, Elder, blessed. Just enjoying the broadcast and everything that you're bringing forth. Double honors to you and all the elders laboring in the work. Man, what an insightful broadcast. Elder, I wanted to touch on something that I've been noticing in the call that just went off and what you just mentioned about the foreigners. Because I'm out here in Vegas, and for my work, I started a transportation business, and I do a lot of transportation networking, transporting. And I've been getting a lot of foreigners, been in the country 2 months to 7 months, no English. Praise the Most that I speak Spanish, so I'm able to speak with them from Venezuela, Colombia, Cuba, a lot. And as I was looking at this, Elder, when I looked at Jeremiah 51, and I know you have the e-sword, Elder. I want you to look this up so that people can see. And maybe you can expound on this when the Most I was talking about the destruction of Babylon. I know you've been doing extensive lessons bringing this point out. And Elder, when it says in Jeremiah 51, verses 1 and 2, when he said that he was sent on to Babylon fanners, when I looked at that word in Hebrew, czar, and it says specifically a foreigner, foreigners that would empty out the land. So when you're bringing forth about all the resources being emptied out, and just the Most High sending forth that destruction, we smacked into it. So just another vein in what prophecy is being fulfilled, spot on. So again, just wanted to share that, Elder, and the water for all the work.
Okay, well, while you're here, let me pull that up. Let me pull it up, because I like to confirm when someone brings something. You know what I mean? Because it's, hey, let's do it. I'm at Jeremiah 51, excuse me.
No,
51.
Done.
Jeremiah 51. And 51 and 2 reads, oh, you got a lot of noise in your background, young man.
Okay, let me turn it down and make sure.
Just put it on mute, if you don't mind.
Okay.
51, it says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them and dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. And when you go into fanners, oh, this is cold, young man. That's right on point. Fanners in the Hebrew, 21:14, which is Zerah, and it's what? Zerah, which is what? Let's look at it. It says a foreigner. Foreigners, strange, profane. So not just any foreigners. You got some criminals coming over here to commit adultery. Strange. That's deep. Foreigners coming into the land to empty her, to rob the treasury. There it is. The beginning of the end. No money, no nation. Thank you, my brother. Good work.
God, Elder. Shalom. Go on.
All right, shalom. May the Most High be with you all. Thank you, Elder Lawyer. And keep in mind, we're at the very end of days. We have some time, but Babylon the Great is falling, Man, it seems like something happens almost every day, doesn't it? Man, there's a lot that's going to go down between now and the election. Hey, keep your eyes here and your ears here, okay? And keep your spirit under the guidance of the Almighty. His name is Ahiah. His son is Yeshua, the God of all gods. With that, I'm going to say, shalom, brothers and sisters. Have a great evening. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not, and keep in mind, the Most High is calling back the children of Israel. That's right. We are the children of Israel, and we're back. Good evening.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With the great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us. At gunpoint. Together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Asher in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans, our highest gathering Israel, Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, our highest gathering Israel. Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans.